Local Jupiter, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome. Happy Sunday. How's life? Local? Any plans for the Sunday, or just gonna be chilling, watching stream, and playing video games? Minnie, how you doing? Exactly. I mean, that's a good plan. I was up till 5:30 playing News Cycle. Like, playing the absolute shit out of News Cycle. Like, holy crap. I played a lot of News Cycle. I don't know if you guys know anything about News Cycle, but it is a phenomenal game that is so much deeper than I actually thought it was, or that I actually thought it was gonna be. It was a little, actually, yeah, it was a little weird to see just how incredible that game actually is. Maybe we'll play it a little bit tonight, or today. Tonight, what the f am I talking about? It's not night. Not at the minute, anyways. Although, I have just woken up, and it feels like I could sleep again. So, maybe. We'll see. Sorry, I'm just busy fighting people on Twitter. As you do. Because Twitter is a hellscape. Absolutely the worst place. I hate Twitter, man. There are so many days where I just think maybe I should just cancel my Twitter. Maybe I should just completely delete this website from my life. Because I absolutely can't stand this fucking site. You can tell it's Sunday. The stream is super quiet. Sounds good. How you doing, bro? Stream a React Sunday, Pog? I don't know if we'll react to stuff. Maybe we will. You never know. And the reason is I've already done so much yesterday. What did you do yesterday? I'm shifting into your chat. Oh, Misty Troll, thank you very much. Really appreciate you being here. I don't use Twitter because all the reasons people hate it. There are good things about Twitter, don't get me wrong. But Twitter is kind of like fucking around with Nurgle's asshole. You might think that you're eating Slanesh pussy, but you're actually just fucking around with Nurgle, because things go bad fast on Twitter. You can have a perfectly decent conversation, and then suddenly it gets completely derailed by crazy people. It is a very shitty site. It's porn ads everywhere. Yeah, luckily they have done something now with the porn ads where it doesn't show up in notifications. So when you do get porn ads, so to speak, they show up in like show more replies. So you have to physically, at least I have to go look for it. But yeah, I don't know. Like this is sadly the problem with more freedom, right? So I know people sort of claim that old Twitter was a lot better because it didn't have this problem, but old Twitter also had far less freedom, right? And freedom of speech. The problem with freedom is that freedom is an enhanced form of chaos, and it does enhance chaos. It brings forth more chaos. So if you give people more freedom, it automatically is going to make it easier for bots and things. And this just means that Twitter needs to work that much harder in coming up with a solution to the bots. But if people think that it's just Twitter that has this problem, they've never streamed on YouTube. Like, being a streamer on YouTube, do you know how many phrases I had to blacklist on YouTube just so that I can stream without constantly having my stream just spammed by sex bots wanting to sell services? It is ridiculous. It happens on YouTube too. It's not just on Twitch or on Twitter. Got my big sis some stuff like house things, jewelry for graduating this upcoming Tuesday. Oh, local, nice. When you say big sis, your big sis graduated. What did she study? I'm right where I need to be. Hi, father. I'm happy to have you here, bro. Nixty, how you doing? Flindroinkies, how you doing? Gentlemen, how you doing? Niora, how you doing? I hope you guys are doing very well. And shot glasses, yeah, of course, for the drinks, right? If there's going to be graduation, there has to be a graduation party with lots and lots of alcohol. You didn't really graduate if you remember that night. So yeah, shot glasses is very, very important. Miku Monday, how you doing? But yeah, no, I don't know. The thing with Twitter is just, it really is, despite your best efforts, it is just a little echo chamber where everyone is fake. I think that's the thing that bugs me most. I'm not a very, what we would call, media savvy person, right? So I never employ clickbait. If I'm honest, I don't even know what good clickbait looks like because I don't look at stuff like that. If you look at how I name my videos, like how I title my videos, it's the most straightforward names you could fucking imagine, and that's just what I do because I can't think of, like, I don't want to spend time or resources coming up with clickbait titles. Like, sometimes by pure accident, a thing will be clickbait, right? But it will be by pure accident, where that was just the title I thought up, and that just happens to be clickbait. But I never go out searching for clickbait titles. And the same is true with Twitter, you know? Like, if you look, so this is my tweet for today. In a sea of tweets where everyone is tweeting to get people to click on their tweets, right? Everyone is tweeting to get people to click on their tweets. So if I show you this, right? You look through Twitter and you just see a random collection of everyone trying to optimize for clicks. And then here's Akalon with his optimization for clicks. A massive dissertation almost of corporatism, capitalism, and socialism in a retweet of some idiot there. You know, and this is very bad for SEO, like super bad. These types of long posts don't do that well. But I don't know. I don't think in those terms. Like, things don't happen. And then I instantly think to myself, ooh, I'm going to tweet about this and so many people are going to like this. I said, nah, I can't be fucked. Like, when good things happen in my life, I don't tweet about those things ever. What do you mean how, local? Just use YouTube, no other platforms to simplify ads, avoid energy. Solomon, how you doing, bro? Clickbait 101, you do a POG face, you put big red or yellow text, and the title is, you would not believe what just happened. Yeah. Tom, how you doing, brother? Oh, shit. Nice. An X chatter. We have someone from X itself chatting to us. I like that. I'm a bartender, by the way. Bartender in what kind of bar? Dive bar, pub, high uptown, up-class kind of bar. How do you do such long tweets? You have a sub? I have a sub, yes. I do pay for Twitter. My tweets are reposts of Blizzard bashing. They work too. My tweets are emo crap. You see, I don't tweet about my life. I don't think my life is interesting enough to tweet about the whole time. People interested in shit? True. Was the time to write about nothing? Well, this isn't nothing. In my opinion, this isn't nothing, right? This is a concept that I'm infinitely in love with. I love economics. I read a lot about economics. I mean, I read Karl Marx, all of his works. I read Adam Smith, all of his works. I've read Milton Friedman. I've read Thomas Sowell. I'm a huge fan of economics, you know? So, and I like having these debates because I do think people need to be educated on what real communism is and real capitalism and shit like that. So this to me was a great time. I had such a good time writing this. You have no idea. But this is just to show you how absolutely terrible I am at farming clicks. I'm very good at losing followers because I piss people off. Mew Kitty, what how you doing, bro? Barakulon, you're hot. I want to hear about your life. Mr. Free Candy, how you doing? Listen, this here is a no lying zone. I don't allow dishonesty in this fucking area. Don't come here with your dishonest manipulation tactics, sir. I see through that crap. I promise I am listening. I'm just playing Genshin. I'm so glad I've never played Genshin. How many did you lose yesterday after the pineapple comments? No, I didn't actually lose followers. In the last few days, I haven't lost any followers. But give me a moment. The day's still young. I might tweet out some ridiculous bullshit in a bit. And then you just see people leaving because they don't like it. You can use that shit in RSAs. Zolomon, I mean, I personally, yeah, I mean, the world is what it is and everyone has an agenda. The problem is most people don't understand that everyone has an agenda. They haven't seen the VOD of the pineapple comments yet. Dude, I linked that clip. And to be fair, I've made a video before where I talk about pineapple on pizza. I think pineapple on pizza is more accepted than what most people think it is. I mean, the one person who tried to get clicks. Oh, yeah, but that happens all the time, local. Remember, our world is currently in a sort of, your honesty yields my sub. Nah, I appreciate that. Thank you. I think we live in a world where everyone wants to be famous. Because everyone now has the opportunity. If you go back 30 years, the only way for you to become famous was to go to Hollywood and hope that you get noticed in a sea of other people that is also trying to get noticed. Whereas now, we're finally in a place where everyone can be famous, and so everyone wants to be. And it's not even necessarily financially motivating or motivated. People on TikTok, for example, make very little money. The overwhelming majority, they still post the shit out of everything because what they want is clout. What they want is to be followed. What they want is to be admired. So on Instagram, for example, what you find is that every girl is starting to become more and more risque. Every single girl is posting more and more risque content. And it's all because they need clicks. They need more people to notice them. Every guy is becoming a fucking Red Bull Andy because they want people to notice them. And so they chase after what is the best possible way of getting clicks. It's... I don't think it's healthy, and I don't think it's going to end well, but we'll see, you know? We'll see how it goes. Do you support Israel or Palestine? Neither. I don't know fuck all about those two places. I don't care. I don't support the killing of innocent people. That's it. I hate the government of Israel, but I also hate Hamas. So, I think Nathan Fuckface and his ministers need to go to the border of Palestine, and then Hamas need to go to the border of Palestine, and then they thumb wrestle. And if you lose the thumb wrestle, you get shot. And then they just keep doing that until last man standing, and then they shoot that guy too. And then the people of Israel and Palestine just go back to living their lives because ordinary people don't want to kill each other. It's just governments that do that shit. So that's my... Yeah, I don't know enough, and I don't think me having an opinion on that area is going to change anything. As I said yesterday, Nathan Fuckface isn't looking at my stream for moral guidance. I don't think me standing up here and saying, oh, Israel, whatever, is going to change anything. I don't think Netanyahu is going to... Is that how you say his name? I don't think he's going to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, shit, that Akalon dude actually said that I'm being very evil. I should really change my ways. I don't think he's going to do that. And I don't think Hamas is going to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, fuck, Akalon really doesn't like what we're doing. We should probably stop doing this. So, what does it matter? I think people that have insane takes, people that are super invested in this war, aren't really invested in this war. I think they just want to be invested in this war because they want other people to think that they're good people. So whenever people tweet out about how evil Israel is, they don't really think Israel is evil. They don't even know where Israel is on a fucking map. But they know that when they tell people that Israel is evil, they'll get a lot of clicks and people will think, "Oh, you're such a good person." If you really thought that Israel was super evil and that they should be stopped, you should fly to Palestine right now and go join the fight. You know, you should go fight. That's the only way you're going to make a difference. Go to the front lines. Go fucking go have it out. Like, please. I will help you. I will buy you the plane ticket if you want to go to Palestine and fight. But you don't want to, do you? You don't want to. Not really. What you want is people thinking you're a good person. You don't really want to help anyone. Are you sure? Maybe he's a big fan, but he is just shy? If he is just shy, don't be shy, Netanyahu. They say nice things, but are horrible people. Well, because they are... they're doing what they're doing because they want to be noticed. They want other people to see them for being the good people that they are. Basically, if you wanna have a real life example of this, the Pharisees in the Bible are described exactly like these people. Jesus says to the Pharisees, "You stand on the street corners and you pray loudly so that everyone can hear you. You wear sackcloth so that everyone can see you mourn. And yet you will have no rewards in heaven because you have already received your rewards here on earth." Right? It doesn't matter whether you believe in God or not. The concept remains. These people aren't there because they actually care. They're just there because they want people to see that they care. I see it on Twitter. I see the people tweeting insane shit all the time. And then every once in a while, when the heat gets a little hot on Twitter, they'll tweet out some fucking support for Palestine. And then everyone suddenly likes them again. You know, but then they go right back to tweeting all kinds of insane nonsense. And it's just a back and forth jump. Every 10 days or so, there's a I support Palestine tweet, just so that all the lefties don't continue to hate them. It's all a game. Most people aren't real people. And I actually, this is actually, there's a few people that I used to have tremendous respect for that I have now sort of started to notice this trend with. People and it's not the fact that they support Israel that I have the problem with. It's the fact that their support, not Israel, that they support Palestine. The problem is that their support of Palestine is incongruent with any of their other views. So they have other views that they tweet about for the rest of time that is incongruent with their support of Palestine. But then every 10 days or so, they support Palestine. Just as a way to, get the lefties back on their side. And it's made me lose so much respect for so many people on Twitter. Because the one thing you'll find with me is I'm very problematic. I'm highly problematic. But I am always problematic. Jumping from being famous into being nobody is so much fun, to be honest. I used to be a local rock star in my city, used to tour to tours and stuff, but now I'm just nobody and dressed like an NPC. Maybe a person or two will still recognize me throughout a week, but still. Nameless, I personally, I can see that, right? I can see, there's that other guy. What's his name? Do you guys remember the dude that wrote Somebody I Used to Know? What's his name? Yeah, Goatee or some shit. He completely stopped touring, left social media, and the reason he did that was he hated the fame. He couldn't stand the fame. He couldn't stand the fact that people now suddenly knew him. And so he just called it quits. He just one day upped and said, well, that's it for me. Thom one, by the way, 21 months, part of the DJ Nation. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, sir. Thumb Racel, great point to join the stream. And then, of course, Standard Hamster, 30 months, part of the DJ Nation. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Great mug, Akko. Thank you. The only reason I bought this mug, though, was because all of the other mugs had, like, best dad ever, best mom ever, all sorts of family shit. And I think I'll be a good dad, but I don't want to, like, you know, I feel that's a little presumptive of me. You know, I'm not a dad yet, so maybe I'm the worst dad in the world. So I'll wait until I'm a dad, and then I'll buy a mug that says best dad ever, if I am indeed the best dad ever. Yeah, I should get a mug that just says most average person ever. Anyhow, take care, guys. I have to work for some braids. See you degenerates. Vladimir Putin, how you doing, bro? Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Enjoy work, man. I just saw your name and I love it. Best shit ever. Bro, in 2014, I bought a TSM Fan Tears mug. Still have it in my cupboard. Oh, that's nice. Hey, and Tempest, how you doing? Although right now I am drinking, well, not drinking, I am crying Fnatic tears, man. Fnatic is letting me down so, but it is heartbreaking to be a fucking Fnatic fan. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It is getting tough out there. Jay Rizzler, how you doing, bro? I became a dad. Yeah, just statement of fact on the mug. I watched the Fnatic game. It was heartbreaking, man. TL. Well, I'm gonna say TL completely smashed them. And it's Fnatic's own fault. Fnatic keeps doing this. They underestimate their opponents and they overestimate their own ability. And that's literally what happened in the TL game. Because I'll tell you this. On paper, TL will not beat Fnatic. In a best of 5, if you did 100 best of 5s, Fnatic will win most of those best of 5s. Because Fnatic is the better team. The problem is that Fnatic has this arrogance about them where they fundamentally, and this is something that actually all of the Western teams have that piss me off to no end. The Western teams consistently underestimate and underestimate their opponents and overestimate their own ability. You will almost never see that from Asian teams. When an Asian team comes up against you, they bring their best, no matter who you are. It doesn't matter, you know, who you are, what you are. They will bring their best, no matter what. It fucking annoys me, bro. They lost to TL, man. Not much, man. Just making my own crazy wild theories. Nice, Jay Rizzler. That's always a good time, innit? By the way, I don't know if Julie is in chat, but thanks for the follow on Twitter. I appreciate that. It literally just popped up on my Twitter that you followed. G2 entered. Troll draft. Yeah, I mean, G2, I think G2 is super strong. I think G2 is incredibly strong, and I also think G2 is gonna be a real problem in the rest of this tournament. Mrs. Fullbuster, how you doing? Mew Kittimon, thank you. I appreciate it. Ferorius, how you doing, bro? What games did Fnatic make? No, Fnatic played like shit, bro. They lost to Gen.G, and they actually looked pretty good on Gen.G, against Gen.G. And then they went right ahead and they lost to TL as well. Just boom, boom. 2 losses in a row. Oh yeah, Thomo, no, it's a team. Doing pretty good, thank you. And yourself? I cannot complain. It's Sunday. I'm really fucking chilling today. What do you mean Fnatic still exists? Of course it still exists. It's one of the most storied franchises in esports history. Of course it still exists. It's my team. It's who I support. Although, you want a year, an absolute boss mode team. Like, I genuinely believe that if G2 did this, it's over. I think G2 can win Worlds. G2 needs to replace Yike with Razork. And here's why. G2's weakest part of their game is early game. G2, for some reason, really struggles in the early game. And when you watch their early games, it is mostly because Yike is almost invisible during early game. Like, Yike comes online when it comes to team fights and stuff of that nature. But in the early game, Yike does very little. The best early game jungler probably right now in the West, but maybe even in the world, is Razork. That guy smurfs early game. If Razork joined G2, Razork will be the guy that gets G2 steamrolling early in the early game, and this will put G2 at a much better on a much better footing once they get into the mid game, because Razork is just a phenomenal fucking jungler. Dr. Rusty, how you doing? Oh yeah, different. Fnatic needs to get rid of Noah. Noah is so bad. Noah is so bad. West got scammed, 1,000 points. Yeah, his thing didn't play for some reason for us. I have no idea why. But yeah, just for some reason did not play. How many chapters are there of the Emerald Dream again? I don't agree with that at all. Z Vengeance. Okay, so if you do yourself a favor, go to Thorin's channel. Alright, then Ferorius did it for you, Wisps. If you go to Thorin's channel, Thorin has a video about Caps, where Thorin proves to you that Caps may just be the greatest jungler that has ever come out, greatest mid laner that has ever come out of the West. He proves it to you. He shows you everything that Caps has done. I believe Caps is the real deal. I genuinely do. I tell them about my warrior wounds and these degenerates shut up. I've been cut deep like an anime character on a Thursday night where you get up like 3 seconds later, shot at. Wait, local Jupiter, what's going on? What's going on? You sound like you have a point to make, like something deep is going on here. What did I miss? I'm looking at the way he clicks and moves around the lane. Z Vengeance, dude, look at his record. That guy is good. Caps is brilliant. I do not agree with you if you think Caps isn't the greatest mid laner of all time. The thing that makes Caps insane is the way in which he translates pressure across the map, right? Caps has never been. So Caps he's a phenomenal clutch player. So he's really good in clutch. But what has made Caps better than almost every other mid laner isn't so much. So if you remember early day Caps, right? So if you think back to Caps' start of his career, Caps was a menace in lane. He would kill people left, right, and center. He would own every single lane. The only mid laner that has ever been able to stand up against Caps and shut Caps down was Rookie. Only Rookie. Caps could, for some reason, never play against Rookie. But Caps owned Faker from the very get-go. He's owned all of the big mid laners, but this was early in his career, right? When he was still Caps or Craps. You either got Claps or you got Craps. But then, I believe in 2019, Caps started to change his approach to the game. because Cap started to realize something. It doesn't matter, right, that I get super leads in the mid lane if I cannot get the leads for the rest of the team. If I can't translate my pressure from mid lane into the rest of the map, I will never be able to win games. So it doesn't matter if I kill people in the mid lane. I have to be able to translate to other lanes. And Caps has done this phenomenally well. So nowadays, Caps isn't the most oppressive mid laner in terms of laning prowess. But what Caps does, if you look at his movements across the map, Caps is brilliant at translating his pressure in the mid lane to his other lanes, showing up in his other lanes. Even just these movements in and out of the lane, Caps will oftentimes just run into Fog of War towards a particular side just to make the enemy think that he may be roaming to one of the sides. He doesn't actually roam, he's just moving to the side because he wants them to think that he may be roaming, because this immediately alleviates pressure on his bot lane or on his top lane. In my opinion, I think a lot of what Caps does goes unnoticed because he's no longer the flashy mid laner. He's no longer the mid laner that, oh shit, look at him owning everyone. I don't think people understand just what Caps brings. And Z Vengeance, his record speaks for itself. Every team that Caps has ever been on has been the champions of Europe, has controlled Europe, and has made it to finals. 2018 Fnatic makes it to finals because of Caps. Caps leaves Fnatic in 2018, 2019 joins G2, and he makes finals again on G2. Caps is the difference maker. Whenever Caps moves to a new team, that team goes to finals and that team controls Europe. And he's the one constant. When he left Fnatic, Fnatic's prowess dropped. I don't know. I think it's important. People act strong but scared when they have to actually think about getting hurt. Sorry if that sounded rude, dude. I mean, it doesn't sound rude, local. But are you referring to me? Right? When you say people act strong but get scared when they have to actually think about getting hurt? In reference to what is that, local? Different, no. I think Faker has done actually something that I have to give him kudos for. So I don't think Faker is the old Faker. Faker hasn't been the old Faker for a very long time because he's old, right? And so he doesn't have the hands, and you can actually see it in lane. Faker struggles against Chovy in lane because Chovy is just faster. Faker even struggles against Caps in lane because Caps is faster. But Faker has figured out how to become a much more strategic player as a result of becoming slower. So he's changed the types of players that he plays, or the type of champions that he plays. He's changed the way he plays the map to instead lean into, shall we say, his strengths rather than highlight his weaknesses. So he plays more safe champs now, Orianna, Azir, all because he no longer has the hand speed to just blast through people, but he can, he can apply pressure much better with those champions. Matthew, how you doing, bro? I'm referring to Twitter and Goldefend. Wait, what Goldefend? What the fuck? Okay, local, I'm lost. I need to understand what happened here. Who is attacking what goal? He was some solo queue Faker streams. Remember, just because Faker is quote-unquote slower now, doesn't mean he's bad. He's still probably in the top 5 all-time mid laners in the world, right? Even still. But you can see that he is slower now than what he used to be. 。 Okay, see, Vengeance, the claim you're making now is backed up by nothing. We are at an impasse here because effectively you're saying, no, he changed the utility because he's micromanaging his team. I'm saying he changed the utility because his hands are slower and he is simply no longer capable of playing as fast as he used to. We are effectively at a place where neither of us can ever know who is true because we're both just guessing. We're looking at what had happened and we're arriving at that point from two different directions. So there's no point in debating this. We're just going to go in a circle. Unless, of course, you somehow have read his mind and you've been able to literally sit there with a stopwatch and go, how long does it take him to react? Oh, that's a 0.1 second reaction time. Let's go back to his first games. Oh, 0.1 second reaction time. He's just as fast as he's always been. Unless you've actually done that and you've done all of the studies on him and you know exactly that he's still as fast as he's always been. We're at an impasse. We're coming at it from different sides, but arriving at the same conclusion. Degenerates, thank you. Of course, Joe says that. Not like Joe I would say that he's getting old and slow. Yeah, to be fair though, I mean, I don't think any of the analysts or casters will ever say something very, very negative about a player like Faker. So yeah, I'm not gonna take their word for it. Okay, Z, never mind. Z Vengeance, it's fine. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. You're right, sir. You are absolutely right. Anyways, besides League of Legends, what's everyone up to? I'm assuming most of you aren't playing League of Legends. By the way, Narodia, how you doing? Still in Fallout 4 survival mode? Getting into WoW again? The voice is one. You can't help it. The War Within looks cool. I think it's going to bring back a lot of people. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to return farming the lost toys in WoW. I need mental help. Yeah, if you're farming toys, you do need mental help. Not right now. We'll probably proxy with Singed in an hour or so. Nice. I'm in my garden listening to you on my phone. Tajanor, nice. What are you doing in the garden? Just chilling. Just in bed at the moment. I overslept. There is nothing wrong with it. I slept way too late today as well, but partly that was because I stayed up way too late. So I started playing this new game. We'll play it in a bit. But I started playing this new game called New Cycle. And holy shit. I didn't like New Cycle because, well, I thought the game was shallow as fuck. And then you get to the end game and you're like, whoa. This game is not shallow at all. There's a lot of things in this game. I like this. So yeah, I've been playing the crap out of that. Some content while I do it. Oh shit. I've never done gardening in my life. My friend group is chill. As opposed to what? I'm baking. What are you baking, Allison? What I was doing in Genshin? What show were you watching? Lemon meringue pies? Do you do lemon meringue with the fucking... Well, I guess the meringue is the white shit on top, right? If people would just start doing lemon without the meringue bit, I would be so happy. I love the pie bit, right? The pie and the filling, beautiful. The meringue bit on top can fuck right off. I hate that. It's too sweet, and I also don't like the taste at all. But I love the tart bit. My buddy taking my husky for a walk because she demands it, and I get to listen to you. Matthew, nice. Is it a Siberian husky? Imagine not liking sugar. So when it comes to sweet stuff, it can't be overly sweet. I don't like things that are too sweet. So a great example of this would be soda. I can't do normal soda because it's just too sweet. It's oppressively sweet to me. So I like to do diet soda when I do drink soda because it's not as sweet. So yeah, I'm and with sweets and shit, I would much rather have a salty snack than a sweet snack. If you gave me an option, here's a plate of savory shit and here's a plate of sweet shit, I would go for the savory shit every single time. Sweet stuff gets too much quickly. The fudge, for example, my brother and my father, all my brothers really, and my father loves fudge. Fudge. They can't get enough of it. I do not eat fudge. Ever. I won't ever buy fudge. I won't even have if there is. Because one little bite of fudge and I've had my sweet for fucking ever. Like, that's it. Thanks. I don't need any sweets anymore. This is too much. Pineapple is sour, not sweet. Pineapple does have a sweetness to it, but it's obviously offset by the meatiness and the saltiness of the pizza, which is good. Not a huge fan of chocolate, but fudge is disgusting. I don't eat fudge either, though. My brothers and father would absolutely fucking lose their shit when if they rate that. I've never had Tex-Mex, but yeah, I'm good with anything. So you get these in South Africa, at least. You get these cocktail pies. Now, our pies and your pies are completely different. We have what's called meat pies. It's kind of British. It's a British thing. So sausage roll, steak and kidney pie, mince and cheese, Cornish pie, all of these pies, right? Burger pie, cheeseburger pie. There's a what's it called? a Russian pie, all sorts of pies, right? But then we have these tiny versions of those pies called cocktail pies. Those things are fucking fire, bro. Like that shit. Oh, wow. It's bite size and the ratios are just right. Not Popeye. Next, Popeye is something completely different. Right? So I'm talking about, like, let me show you. I'll just go to images because it's probably easier. It looks like this. You buy these at any sort of garage or basically any food store. Sell these. That looks like a pot pie. Well, this particular pie is a steak and kidney pie. Right? But then you also get this, which is a sausage roll pie. Right? So it has sausage meat on the inside and it's rolled in pie dough on the outside. That's also really, really, really good. That's some Greggs. Well, we don't call it Greggs. We have two here. We have Mr. Pieman. And then we have a local place I can't remember the name of. Their pies are actually the best, probably. And then we have the London Pie Company, which is another one that sells pies. And there's others, but those are the two big ones that I remember. I don't even know if the London Pie Company still exists, but they did for a while. We have those here. I'm in the wrong country, man. The sausage ones, I mean. Oh, well, yeah. These are everywhere. The sausage pie is everywhere here. Steak pies and chicken pies. We have one here that looks exactly like this, but it has a Vienna in the middle. So, is that how you spell it again? I can't remember. It's kind of like this, but that's not right. It's kind of like a piggy in a blanket sort of thing, just much bigger. Like this big. Piggy in a blanket, but also a pie that you can buy. Better top, to name a few. Over sausage pie? I've never had sausage pizza, so I have no idea. I'm trying to... Sausage pizza is gross. Burger pie is nice. Burger pie is nice. Cheeseburger pie is the best. Getting a nice cheeseburger pie is so fucking good, man. Here's the cheeseburger pie. Or like this. Really good. It's like a cheeseburger, but wrapped in pie. It's a full buster. Yeah, I guess that's a good thing about this stream. Although I'm only eating like 8 o'clock tonight, so... Manalords needs to introduce medieval chicken pies. Have you seen the new update for Manalords? They're now going to make it possible for you to use the trading post to trade goods between your regions. So you no longer need the barter station or the pack station. You can literally just use the trading post and just limit goods traded between regions. So that's a really good thing. And then they're also they're going to be introducing pigs into the game for meat production specifically. They fixed a lot of bugs with farming. So there's like a bunch of really good things coming in the very near future for Manalords. So that game's going to pop when it finally goes live, like fully live. I love all food. It's sad I want all. Why is that sad? Yeah, I don't know what breakfast sausage actually is. So I'll have to take your word for it that it's not good. I love me, thank you. Marco's waifu. You think I gained the status by being vegan? But who the fuck is vegan? My cats got me up at about 8 a.m. for food, and then I'd gone back to sleep after that. Oh, that's never good. Falling back, like I struggle to do that, but the few times that I have done that, it is not great. When you fall asleep and then you fucking wake up. Oh, when you wake up and you fall asleep again, whenever I wake up from that nap, I am dead. My whole day is ruined if that happens. Spider Monkey, how you doing, bro? So far, but I've only tried the pacifist mode. Someone, you mean Manalords? I think part of what I love about Manalords, I tend to play the pacifist mode as well in Manalords, because what I like about Manalords is the logistics of it, right? So I love the logistic approach to it. So what I usually do is I'll turn off all raider attacks because I don't want to be attacked by raiders. But what I will keep on is the AI enemy, so that this makes it. And I put the AI on peaceful mode, so or reaction mode, so the AI will only ever react to me trying to take their regions, but it won't ever attack my region. And this is super fun for me, because this means when I do take a region, there's a little bit of a battle there, but I don't have to worry too much about it. So yeah, I like playing pacifist mode for the most part, because it gives me time to really think about the logistics of the game. Does this look gross to you? No, actually. Dunzo, how you doing? I do the same. Just let you play as I conquest after building a town. Exactly. Spider Monkey, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate you. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, this actually looks good. I mean, it's missing pepperoni, but it looks good. The crust makes me think Domino's. The outer crust. This looks like Domino's pizza, or is this just a random pizza? Because Domino's looks like this. I don't like Domino's. Manlords and Going Medieval are my two favorite builders right now. Going Medieval. I think I have that. Let me just check. I do have that. I've played 21 minutes of it. Here you go. Going Medieval, 21 minutes played. I think at the time, though, it was very unfinished. So it was still, like, super bad. Like, you know, there's been a shit ton of patches and stuff. So maybe I should go back to it at some point, but I can't. Not right now. This game is stealing all of my time. Like, all of my time is going into this game. Can you eat pizza on the meat diet? Mew Kittimon? Of course not. But every Saturday, I'm allowed to cheat. So then I'll have pizza. But I do have a recipe that I sometimes make for what is called a carnivore/keto pizza. So it is carnivore, but it's not pure carnivore. So if you do want to cheat and you think like you deserve it, you've gone 2 weeks without cheating, but you still don't want to break your carnivore, you make the dough, so the base of the pizza, with using 250 grams of not cottage cheese. Philadelphia cream cheese, right? So 250 grams of cream cheese, 250 grams of mozzarella, and 3 eggs, and a little bit of baking powder. You mix all of that together, and then you pour that into a pan. You bake it for about 20 minutes just to get it baked through. Then you can add, maybe if you really want, you can add some tomato sauce that breaks the carnivore trend, but it's a little bit of sauce, so it's fine. I don't do the sauce, though. What I'll do is I'll just put, say, for example, cheddar cheese and mozzarella cheese on top, and then some sausage or something. And then I just put that into the oven, melt everything on top, and that's a pizza, and it's pretty good. It is actually pretty. It's not a pizza, but if you're in the mood for pizza and you don't want to actually break your carnivore streak, you can have that, and it does satiate the same flavor profile, so to speak. Protopack's name? I have Mana Lords and I'm hooked. Mana Lords is really good. I've played a shit ton of that as well. How much have I played of that? 42 hours of Mana Lords. But I'm waiting for an update now to fix some of the bugs and the problems. Sounds good. I will try it out. Let me know. If you have the ability, Mew Kittimon, to find pork rinds, right? So, or pork crackling. I don't know what you guys call it there. But pork rinds or pork crackling that wasn't fried in vegetable oil. So just look on the ingredients. It shouldn't have vegetable oil and hopefully neutral, so it doesn't have any spices added to it. And the ingredients isn't just a list of MSG nonsense. You can take those pork rinds, crush them up, and also throw them into the base, the batter, because it just gives the batter a nice bit of texture. Otherwise, the batter doesn't have much texture. It's just, a sort of base. Carnivore, if you need a sauce. Yeah, you could probably do gravy if you made it yourself. What about New Cycle makes it stand out? We're going to be playing it, and I'm going to start a new game, and we'll be playing it, so you'll see in a second. I'm waiting for patch 7 for BG3, to be honest. Larian dropped a tease about it, but have been radio silent in that regard ever since. I still have to finish Baldur's Gate 3. I still have not finished my first Baldur's Gate 3 game. I will eventually. I just don't want to do it now. The game requires so much effort to play. It's a slow burn, so I have to be in the right mindset to actually play it. But I will get back to it. I'll have to look into it. Thumon, we'll be playing it in a bit, just so that I can show you guys what it is. It's so fun. I do enjoy Balrite, but I found I got very bored of it very quickly. Like, I was super into it for a small while, but then I kind of just, the game still needs a lot of work. Nico, pretty much, yeah. Mythics and LFR in 10.2.7? How is the Mythics and LFR now in 10.2.7? I hesitate to buy it. I will wait. I think it all depends on how much you like survival games. Because as a survival game, I think it's really good. But I'm not... There are elements of it that just annoys the living shit out of me. Is there a good fantasy city builder? Used to play Zeus and Poseidon as a child and loved it. Zeus. Look at me, fucking LCK obsessed. Zeus and Poseidon. I don't know. I don't know. So when it comes to city builders, I'm a lot more obsessed with post-apocalyptic city builders. Like Frostpunk, like New Cycle. I don't know why, but these post-apocalyptic games really get my fucking blood boiling. Like, I love that shit. I'm not as big of a fan of the medieval stuff or the fantasy stuff in that regard. But I mean, I'm assuming you're referring to stuff like Black and White 2 and that crap. Fury of the Eagle is a nightmare due to 50% bonus crit rating. You try Kenshi then? The hell's Kenshi? I'm rebuilding America in Fallout 4 at the moment. Fallout, man. I bought Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, as you can see here, right? I own both of these games now. And I installed a mod that basically makes it one game so that eventually we can play it. But me and Fallout have such a weird relationship. I love the concept of Fallout, but I hate everything about Fallout. Like, technically, Fallout should be my kind of game. It should be my kind of game, and yet I can't. Yeah, it's the Tale of Two Wastelands, Dark Phoenix. But I can't get into it. I don't know why. I do not understand. But this is the truth. This is true for all Bethesda games. I really struggle with Bethesda games. Growfall, okay, so what the mod does is it introduces a new quest that takes you to the train station in Washington for Fallout 3, and that train station then leads you to Fallout New Vegas. So you become the courier in Fallout New Vegas, effectively. Right, so it's basically they've adapted the game to such an extent that you are the courier, but because you've lost your memories, you don't know exactly everything about you. It's a whole thing. I did finish a co-op playthrough of BG3 fairly recently, so at least I know I can manage balanced, but I have a few saves in Act 3, but there's so many big encounters in it and just a lot going on in general. I think that's why I got a little tired of Baldur's Gate. It was just too much. There's just way too much that I had to keep track of, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna skip it. The only Fallout games I've played are 4 and 76. Profile, from what I understand, This is the best way to play Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. So suck my titties. You're gonna have to take it up with the community that likes Tale of Two Cities or some shit like that. Sammy Racco, Act 3 was too much for me as well. I want to watch Echo play Bioshock. Fuck that. I've seen footage of Bioshock and it looks like a scary game. I'm not playing it. Yeah, Tales of the Wasteland 2 Cities or some crap like that. It's called that. New Vegas. Yeah, I think that's also the other problem that I have with Fallout. It is scary. There are times where you come up to stuff that makes it scary. And I hate that. So I've been sort of itching to do another playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077. But the new patch in Cyberpunk 2077 introduces a mission that is very, very fucking scary. It's like not scary, but it's stressful. And I hate playing games that makes me feel stressed. I don't like feeling stressed. I like feeling non-caring. I play video games so that I can relax. I don't play video games so that I can feel stressed. It's one of the reasons I very rarely in League of Legends play ranked, because in ranked you get stressed. Let Echo watch. I'll probably watch if someone plays it. Deathclaws in New Vegas when you go north of Good Springs at level 2 is scary. ARAM based mode anyway. I love ARAM because there's nothing to lose. Toulouse is also a place in France. I like the stress. That's why I play healer in MMOs. No, bro. I tend to take Act 3 and BG3 slow and in small chunks, but often I'll be like, I'm not feeling Act 3, and so I'll go play an Act 1 or 2 save instead. But there's other games too? Mrs. Fullbuster, like, why aren't you playing some other games? If you had a Wii, it's 100% Fragile Dreams. I used to have a Wii. I sold that thing. I don't think I even sold it. I think I just gave it away. Playing healer isn't stressful. The ones receiving the healing should be stressed. Healer is the most relaxing for me. I can't play healer. I hate healer. I hate it. You are effectively playing the game so that other people can play the game. You are not the one playing the game. I hate that. I want to be the damage dealer. I want to be in the thick of things, doing the damage. I don't want to fucking stand there and heal other people. It's like bullshit to that. They can heal themselves. I just want to smash. I get what you mean. Used to play Smash in tournaments. Not for me anymore. I am, but there will be times I'm actually feeling BG3, but not Act 3. I get that. I get that. Healing is so cool. No, it's not. Nintendo dropped the ball by not calling their Succession console Nintendo Poo. Fuck me. Look at it from another angle. Without you, they are nothing. You are a god, and they should kiss your ass if they want to live. Have I ever thought that way about healers? No. No, healers are the peasants of the MMO world. Because if you're not healing, you're not really a god. Because if you don't heal, you just get kicked. You're right with submissive healers. Dude, when you're this dominant, even the most dominant people become submissive. I can't help it, right? It's just when I walk into the fucking raid, everyone just goes, yes, king. We're sorry, sir. We won't look at you. Can't help it, bro. It's just how it is. Holy Paladin is some of the most fun gameplay in WoW. I would very much disagree with that. I would say Warlock is some of the most fun gameplay in WoW. Healers are becoming almost irrelevant due to monks and druids. I adore the Star Wars Jedi games too. So true, and people stand and stuff too much. Yeah, but that is technically speaking, that is a healing problem. So the way I look at it, and here's how it goes. A DPS's job is to do damage, right? Is to DPS. If you move, you are not doing DPS, therefore you are not doing your job. A healer's job is to heal. Therefore, when someone takes damage, it is the healer's job to heal them. If a DPS is standing in fire and then moving out of that fire, the DPS is not only not doing their job in dealing damage, the DPS is also then taking the job of the healer away from the DPS, because the healer should be the one healing the DPS taking damage. The DPS should not be avoiding the damage so that the healer doesn't have a job to do. Right? So as a DPS, moving out of damage is not part of your job description. And if you are doing that, you should receive extra loot as a result of that, because you are doing, basically, you are neglecting your own job to pick up the slack of the healers that isn't doing their job. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a fact. I stand in fire. Fire increases DPS. Jedi Survivor Blaster Saber combo is ridiculous, but so cool at the same time. That sounds like one of your pineapple on pizza takes. Dude, it is the only correct take to have. The way they balance the game, DPS have to move. No, they don't. No, they don't. My friend and I are both playing Drakthir Evokers, and I win Preservation spec. Lunari, how you doing? Okay, but in 14, you get damage up, so you will sooner or later die by the boss farting on you. As a healer, I agree. DPS should take some avoidable damage to make the fight shorter, and some for tank. Same for tank. They should aggro all. If they did not pull, I can't stand the you pull, you tank. Truth, as a Destro lock, I lose too much DPS by moving out of mechanics. They just need to heal me better. Exactly, Dunzo. See, Dunzo fucking gets it. You can tell who's the Mythic Raiders here and who's the plebs doing normal because they're moving out of damage. Please. On a serious note, though, part of being a good DPS in a Mythic raid is knowing what damage you can stand in and what damage you can't. And it is true, sometimes taking avoidable damage is the best way for a DPS to play, because, well, you know you can survive that damage. Mythic Plus overrating. Fuck that. I do not agree. I do not agree with that take at all. I like doing nothing in the raids and just receives loot, just like real life. Baby love. Migu, hey, you know, if you're getting paid to stand around doing nothing and just look pretty, why not? I want to do a podcast. I want to do a weekly podcast, not a live one, like a weekly podcast with friends. What do you do the podcast about? Like just random shit? Or do you do? I don't want to do a game. I don't want to do a news podcast. That shit's boring. I just want to do a random podcast. We just get together and you just chat mad shit. I have to think about that. And I want to kiss you. Some dreams won't come true. True though. Grab Sebi too. Yeah, Sebi will definitely be part of it. Do food podcast. If in a perfect world, Sebi would live in South Africa so that we could actually set up a fucking studio and do it in a studio. But Sebi lives in Australia, so that won't work. Rurikon would also live in South Africa so that he could join the studio too. That would be a perfect world. Love to see an Aqua and Pyro podcast. The problem with... So again, the reason I said I don't want to do a quote-unquote news podcast, I already do a weekly WoW podcast on the main channel. And there's not enough in WoW to just continuously do a weekly podcast on, especially if you're doing 2 podcasts. So eventually it will just become like the same theory over and over and over again. Or you have to start adding more things into the podcast, right? In order to make it work. That was part of the problem with the original Shill Show. The original Shill Show did really well for a while, and then eventually you run out of theories because there's only so much that you can theoretically talk about before a new patch comes out. So then what happens is, because you have to present something, you start coming up with mad theories, like almost ridiculous fan fiction, just because you have to present some kind of content. So that's why the new Barons chat is more of a conversation with viewers. So I don't really come into it with actual speculation theories. I use what you guys tell me, and then we speculate together on stuff, which I think is a better approach because it has a lot more longevity to it. And I think with Pyro, it would be much more conducive to a fun experience if it's rarer. So maybe once a month or maybe once every 2 months. So when you sit down, you actually have a good amount of stuff that you can talk about, and you can actually deep dive into theories that you've had and theories that you've discussed. What got auto-modded? Theories, circle jerk, sounds like something I would watch. Yeah, Twitch is sometimes weird. Just watch everyone. You are gonna see me in one of these streams one day. I think it's outstanding, Theorycraft. I don't know. I loved Pyro's vid on Dreadlord Gallywix. Still, it's at some point, if you keep trying to come up with theories, you're gonna run into issues where you have to keep pushing more and more crazy theories, Yeah, it just is what it is. Yeah, I think what made the collab between me and Pyro so good was the fact that we could literally sit there for another 2 hours and still have a shit ton to talk about. And it was already 3 hours long, right? So by the time me and Pyro sit down again to talk, say in a month or so, we, imagine how much we'll have to talk about then, because there's already more theories that I've come up with since then. And there's more theories that Pyro's come up with since then. So fundamentally, I think it just makes for a better viewing experience. And for me, what's the most important thing whenever I make content is, what are my viewers getting out of the content? If I'm making content just for the sake of making content, I don't want to make the content. I want to make sure that whenever you do click on one of my videos or whenever you do click on one of my streams, well, streams not so much because these streams are just chatting anyways, right? So I'm just logging on and we're having a good old time talking to each other and hanging out. But when I make videos, I want to make sure that you come to it and you walk away from that with at least something to think about. You've been entertained for a bit. You've enjoyed yourself. Z-Vengeance, that's the point I usually try to make to people, is that the reason we call them speculation theories and not just theories is because they're fun and they're supposed to be entertaining. They're not supposed to be predictions of what the future may hold. Because if I were to make a prediction video, that would not be very entertaining. Because oftentimes Blizzard will go with the more obvious approach because, that's just the easiest approach to execute. So I always like to go back to Sylvanas and the tree, the wall tree, Teldrassil. The most obvious speculation was always going to be that Sylvanas is the one burning the tree, right? That's the most obvious one. Because we had information that Sylvanas was making her way to the tree. We had confirmation that Sylvanas was starting a war between the Horde and the Alliance. We learned that the wall tree was burning. So obviously, Sylvanas burnt the tree. But that's not fun. So instead, we came up with far more elaborate theories to explain how the wall tree ended up burning. And it wasn't because I genuinely thought that was the truth. Because, well, it wasn't the truth. It was because those other theories provide an alternative of what could be possible, and then it allows for the player base, the viewers, to think from that point and go, oh shit, but if that is true, then imagine all the shit that could happen there, right? So it's just entertainment. And it should just be entertainment. I think people get married to their theories quite too often. I've made the same mistake in the past, where people will disagree with my theory, and then for some reason I feel as if I've personally been attacked by them disagreeing. So it took me a while to get myself to a point where whenever someone disagrees with my theory, I accept it as they're allowed to do that, you know? Uncle Vex, how you doing, bro? You got married before? What the fuck you mean I got married before? Uncle, I have never been married. I did get married to my theories at one point in time, but I don't think that's what you were asking. Busting your balls, thanks for the compliment. Alcove, you are most welcome. You are most welcome, sir. Thanks for the support. Without you guys, I would absolutely, definitely not be able to do what I do, so I very much appreciate it. We all know about your Sylvanas marriage fanfic. I would marry Sylvanas in a heartbeat. Fuck yeah, who wouldn't? She's hot. Guys, in my status, we're married. Nixty, you're gonna start some fucking random rumors. Rustic J, how you doing, bro? Right, I should actually get off my ass now. We'll be lurking for a little bit. Mr. Fullbuster, good. Mrs. Fullbuster, good luck. Good luck with waking up. I don't know, her sister Lyria is kind of cute. If you had a choice between Illyria and Sylvanas, who would you go for, chat? Alcove, no. I will never get access to that. I am blacklisted by Blizzard. Was gone for a bit. Welcome back, Spider Monkey. I would go for Illyria. The fuck would you guys go? Oh, wow. A bunch of vanilla weebs in my chat. Like absolute vanilla boys in my chat. Jungle John, how you doing? Kind of goofy in a relationship? Dude, you just know Sylvanas, sex with Sylvanas will be off the fucking charts, bro. She is a preserved corpse, bro. They've already explained this. She is absolutely preserved perfectly. Unlimited stamina? No, she does not. As we live and die for Sylvanas? Exactly. I would still write them titties with Jaina, but only void version of Illyria, FYI. That soul-tearing, mind-blowing orgasm. Exactly, bro. I'm all in for Illy Daddy. The girls don't get a say. We're not talking about WoW dick right now. We're talking about WoW chicks. Alright? If you want to talk about WoW dick, go to a female streamer and go discuss WoW dick with the female streamer. We're talking about WoW titties right now, and everyone wants Sylvanas as WoW titties. So if you are a girl, just pretend you like WoW titties. Want to be chained by Sylvanas? Oh. Okay, assuming that Gons aren't into Illichan? Well, you can be into Illichan, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I gave you an option between Illyria and Sylvanas. You can't just bring your own shit in here. Balthazar, how you doing? Sylvanas is such a mommy dom. Lord Nox, you know it, bro. Is there anything toy on Denathrius? Pepe. I mean, there's a lot of people that's absolutely bonkers for Denathrius, so it kind of makes sense. Actually, yes. Pre-Fish Azara, unironically quite hot. I agree. Although Fish Azara is pretty hot as well, but that would be weird as fuck. But still hot. Why the fuck is all this shit? Oh, damn. Thank you. Mueller Gaming, 16 runs part of the DJ Nation. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you. So I just saw a tweet that got me interested. What is this? Genuine, serious question. Do you get intimidated by attractive women? I think I just got friend rejected for being too hot. Fantasia VT, hello. I was wondering if you wanted to hang out soon. It doesn't have to be on stream or anything. Just wanted to vibe with you. Honestly, I feel a bit uncomfortable. You're a great person, but you are very intimidating because of how you look. I'm sorry if I did anything to make you uncomfortable. I thought we were having lots of fun playing games and stuff. You're fine. You're just too intimidating because of your looks, and I feel too much pressure and stress because of it. Dude, what the fuck? What? Wait, but I don't understand. Like, I do not understand. I mean, so here's the thing that I don't understand, and what bothers me or what boggles my mind about this is, from what I can tell, the reason this guy or girl doesn't actually want to play games with whoever this Fantasia is because they don't want to fall in love and then get friend zoned, because they themselves feel like they will probably get friend zoned. But the thing is, being friends with a girl, I'm going to talk from the perspective of a guy that likes girls, but, you know, put your own genders in there depending on what you like. People really don't understand the friend zone. Like, the only time you will ever get friend zoned by a girl is if you don't make your intentions clear, right? If you really had like a girl that you were very good friends with, like you were best friends, you hung out, you loved talking to each other, but you actively tried to pretend like you weren't interested in her, at some point she's not going to be interested in you because, well, no one's going to want to get interested in someone that isn't interested in them. But if you do like a girl like that, like if let me put myself in this situation. If a girl messaged me right now, if she DM'd me right now and she was like, hey, I love your streams, I love your sense of humor, I'd love to play video games with you at some point, right? And I look at this girl and I go, this is going to be a fucking bad idea. I'm looking at her picture and she is clearly fucking hot. I'm clearly going to develop feelings just based on the fact that she is that hot, right? What I would do is I would be like, yeah, sure, you know, let's play some games together. And then if I do find that her personality matches her hotness, I would make it very clear that, hey, listen here, I do want to be more than just friends. If that's not something you want, hey, that's up to you, right? That's fine. But I just want you to know that I would like something more. And then if she goes, well, I'm not really interested in more, then so be it, right? I still have fun with her. I still like playing games with her. I still like hanging out with her. But she's just not in that mindset for now. That's not how she sees me. And it's all good. But to fucking block yourself before you've even had the opportunity to start makes no sense to me. Like, what is this guy, like, or girl or whatever? What's the problem? I don't think you can be that direct. What do you mean you can't be that direct, Lord Knox? So you think if you are that direct, you will scare her off? You have to be more playful? No. So here's the thing. I am not willing to change who I am to get the girl. The girl that I get has to know who I am and want me for who I am. So I am not going to pretend to be playful if that is not what my personality is. If I am direct with a girl and I tell her, listen here, I really think you're super cute and you're super beautiful, and I would like to see if we could be more than just friends, and she gets scared off by me being direct, then that is also not a girl that I would want to date, right? I just don't want to date that girl. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with her. It doesn't mean she's a bad girl. It just means that I don't want to deal with that insecure bullshit. She should be secure in herself enough to the point where she can handle that level of directness, and she doesn't mind it or even appreciates the fact that I am being honest about it, even if she doesn't feel the same way. The playful shit, I am plenty playful. If I'm with someone that I'm comfortable, if I'm with someone that I enjoy, I am plenty playful, and I like making jokes and I like joking around, but I'm also super direct. If I don't like something you're doing, I'm gonna tell you I don't like that. If I like you, I'm gonna tell you I like you, right? And that's just it. That's just how it is. If you don't like that, then we won't work, right? Because it means there's gonna be other problems in the relationship that I'm not gonna be able to deal with directly because you don't like the direct approach. So now I'm gonna have to find, and this just means that we wouldn't work as a couple. I don't believe that you should ever change who you are in order to get with anyone. You just be who you are, and if the person likes you, then they like you. If they don't like you, then they don't like you. It's as simple as that. Half of her salary, the fact that I'm direct with her, is why she likes me. Women are attracted to a man. You must be a man to get a woman. Unless she's a lesbian. In which case, you being a man is literally why she doesn't want to be with you. Doesn't always work that way, Titan Reaper, but I get the point you're trying to make. Yeah, I mean, what a goal. I don't think I've ever asked anyone what they earn. So I have no idea, right? I don't think I've ever known what any of my girlfriends made. I couldn't give two shits. There's some things that's just automatic regardless of what she earns. I'll pay for dates. I don't really care for gifts. And I do mean I don't really care for gifts, as in I don't really want gifts. So when you buy me gifts, I don't really appreciate that. Because whatever you buy me, I've probably, if I needed it, I've already bought it for myself. And so you buying it for me doesn't really do much, because now I just have two of the thing that I fucking already, wanted and have. So yeah, I'm not. Oh, and leave me the fuck alone for the most part. That's also a good one. Once you move in together, it's an important discussion. Why, Twaki? Speaking of women, there's some weird trend about asking women if they'd rather encounter a man or a bear in the woods. Yeah. I don't think that's a discussion that any real girl is really engaged in. I think it's sort of like, and I think most girls will be able to back me up on this. There are a lot of discussions online by girls on Twitter that the overwhelming majority of women do not entertain. Right? Because if you ask the majority of women, would you rather encounter a man or a bear? The overwhelming majority of women would be like, a man, of course, because the overwhelming majority of women have had very pleasant interactions with men, and bears are fucking scary, right? It's just the girls that wants to win points on Twitter that claim that they would rather meet a bear because men are so scary. It's like, no, men aren't scary. Some men are evil, but that's just always going to be the case. Not a girl, but if it's a black bear, 100% the bear. Man is the most dangerous animal out there. Dr. Rusty, the thing for me is, let's take the analogy further. All right? In an enclosed space, would you rather a black bear or a man? If you were to walk up to the bear and slap the bear, would you rather be it a bear, or would you rather be it a man? Like, let's run the full gauntlet. Because people love saying, oh, a black bear, you just go, wah, and they'll run away. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about an actual encounter, right? We're talking about an encounter that is happening between you and a bear. We're not just talking about you happening upon a bear. And if you think that a man is more dangerous than even a black bear in a situation where violence is going to ensue, or has the possibility of ensuing, I think the black bear is still mostly going to fuck you up. Right? If it is cornered, if it feels threatened, it's going to fuck you up. So, I think they chose bear very specifically because it allows them to wiggle out of the argument. Right? Because if they say bear, and you say brown bear, polar bear, you're fucked. 100% of the time. They go, oh, but black bear. So, yeah, but that's not honest. You're not being honest now, right? Because you did not specify black bear. You just said bear. And now, when I'm backing you into a corner in your own argument, now you're using the black bear as a bit of a wiggle. So let's replace it, because all you're doing basically is wild animals. Would you rather have a random encounter with a lion or with a man? Let's make it, full blown. Would you rather encounter a man or a lion? Because now there's no wiggle room. That lion is going to fucking ruin you. 100% of the time. It's as simple as that. Not true. If a man has a gun, I would choose the bear. A man with a gun is much more dangerous. You think so, King Julian? You really believe that? You're a moron. There's a lot of things that have to happen for a man with a gun, if you know that man has a gun, for that man to actually shoot you. Moving erratically would make it almost impossible for that guy to hit you. If you are close enough to the guy, the gun is actually not going to help them very much, because by the time they're able to get the gun in such a place that they can shoot you, you'd already be up on them. And so the gun doesn't really help in close quarter situations. If you're far away from the guy, literally just running will make it almost impossible unless the guy is a fucking marksman. With a bear, a whole different story. Running, they're faster than you. Being close to them, it's not going to help. They're stronger than you. So 100% you are still using the wiggle room argument. So I back you into a corner and I say, if you're coming face to face with a man or a bear, and I go, well, obviously bear. And you go, well, what if it's a black bear? Well, that's a wiggle room argument. You didn't specify the bear. And then you go, but if it's a bear or a man with a gun, again, you didn't specify that the man had a gun. You simply asked gun or man. Man or bear. You can't then go, once you're in the fucking corner, oh, but actually what I meant was a man with a gun. Yeah, a man with a gun is fucking scary, but what if it's just a guy with a gun that has the gun for self-defense and has no interest in killing you whatsoever? Then, would you still be with the man or with the bear? It's a stupid argument, and it's an argument specifically designed to inflame relationships between men and women. That's all that argument is for. It doesn't exist for any good purpose. It literally just exists because we want to pretend like there's some war going on between men and women, and that men are attacking women ad nauseum, when in reality that is just not true. That is just not the truth. In one punch and hospitalize two more. Men aren't even part of this argument. This question is made for women on purpose. True. Golgoth, I would argue there are far less people in cemeteries that did that than you might think. The basic... Okay, so let's take the argument to its basic principle. The basic argument here, regardless of the species of bear or the person having a gun or not having a gun, is who do you feel safer with? A wild animal or a man? And the basic reason for the question is asked with a specific bias in mind. They want people to admit that they feel safer with a bear than what they feel with a man. But I can almost guarantee you, if it's a healthy woman with healthy relationships, she will always say with a man. Because the men that she has known in her life, because she has chosen good men to spend her time with, have always made her feel very safe. And so she will say with a man. That's as simple as that. And it is just absolutely not true that women are not safe with men. On the whole, you are, generally speaking, far more safe with a man than what you are with a wild animal. That's just how it is. Seen from women is that the bear would take their life, but the man would also take their innocence, so they would rather die to the bear. Pretty stupid, to be honest. It's meant to inflame relationships between men and women. And it's meant to create this weird war that I don't think... Like, if I may ask to the girls in chat, do you generally feel like they're... Do you feel like you are at war with men? Do you feel like your life is just a constant war with guys? And if you do, why? Why are we asking the important question? Why is the woman in the woods to begin with? I can't stand that bull crap. Alright, so Niara doesn't believe that. I'm assuming Nixie doesn't believe that. I'm assuming most women would say no. I don't, but generally, because I'm hanging around with good guys. Again, I can see that. My girl loves and hates me same time. Yeah, but that's usually what happens when you're in a relationship. King Julian, if you're going to use specifics and don't you specify it's a polar bear in comparison for sake of argument. No, I have a happy relationship with men and they make me feel safe. There you go. I realize that it's a small sample size, but then again, you know, I assume this is much more of a sausage fest than than some of the guys in this chat would like it to be. But there you go. 3 women in chat, and all 3 of them fundamentally, or 4 women in chat actually, and all 4 of them just said what I said. If you have healthy relationships, and if you choose men correctly, like, the only women that struggle with bad men, in my opinion, in general, and now I'm not talking about random encounters where you're walking in the street and a random dude attacks you because they're just evil, which are, generally speaking, a very small percentage of attacks anyways. The overwhelming majority of attacks happen from people close to you. If you are smart in how you choose your partner, you are not going to deal with the evil fucks. The problem is that there are so many women today that do not have good men as role models in their lives because they grew up with fathers who are either absent completely or who are just the worst men in general anyways, and so they don't learn how to read red flags. You also now have the problem that a lot of women choose their men despite what their parents might say. So when the father warns her about the stuff that the man is showcasing, because men are much better at spotting the red flags in other men, she will rebel against that and go, what the fuck do they know? I'll do what I want to do. He's hot, so why not? Right? But if you are a smart girl, and there are plenty of them, the majority, they are very careful to, number one, notice the red flags and take note of those red flags. And I know personally quite a few girls that will not say no to a guy until the guy has met her dad. And they have told me straight up, If their dad tells them, this guy, I don't like him, they listen. Because they trust their dad. They know that their dad will be able to tell if this is a fucking asshole. You can think I'm a simp and siding to the left to get laid, but I'm not. I'm trying to see the argument from both sides and agree both sides have valid points. But you're not seeing the argument from both sides, King Julian. You're just making up bullshit. You're literally, what you're doing is you're moving the goalpost. That's what you're doing. And that's exactly what the argument is. That's why you can't say that the argument is valid on both sides. Because the argument is built in such a way that I can move the goalposts as much as I want. I got such a good girl. She is just like that. Before her father passed away, bro, I was able to ask him if I could take care of her forever. That was the most manliest moment of my life. Dude, that's a scary fucking moment. The moment you meet the dad for the first time is always scary. Always. Like, because you know, this dude has the final say on on your future sex life, basically, right? And if this dude does not like you, you're fucked. When I'm making the point, they'd rather die by bear than live with men that are jerks. But Venderalia, the point is, the amount of men, right? The amount of men that are actually jerks, are we saying that it is a significant portion of society's men? So in terms of percentages, how many men do you think fit that bill? Like, what percentage of men is actually that bad? My dad was one of the bad guys, but besides my daddy issues, it didn't shape my relationship with all men. See, that is the sad part, right? Is that if the dad is an asshole, that is just automatically going to make a lot of things a lot worse. I'd say so. Look at how policy is made in most countries. Venderalia, wait. What do you mean you'd say so? Look at how policy is made in most countries. What does that mean? King Julian, that is a good father. That is a good father. It means that this is a father that knows the worth of his daughter and will not just let any man ruin his fucking daughter's life. That's a good fucking father. The higher his standards is, the higher his daughter's standards will be. So, you know, it's good. What they do to women, look at Western civilization, how they treated women for most of human beings being alive on this planet. It's only been 100 years since women had rights. Venderalia, but that is an argument so devoid of reality that it is scary. It is not just for the last 100 years that women have had rights. That is just complete and utter obvious bullshit. And it's also completely devoid of the actual history. For most of human society, men and women were living in absolute harmony with one another, working together to overcome incredible hardships. The only time in the history of mankind where women were actually relegated to quote-unquote second-class citizens, as most people on the left try to portray them, was during the Industrial Revolution, where work was incredibly dangerous and incredibly hardcore, and it was just not really possible for a lot of women to partake in the said work that was done at the time. And so women sort of got left behind as a result of certain technologies advancing much faster than other technologies. So by the time we find the tampon, and that finally gets discovered, right? And we now have running toilets in every single home and workplace in the world. And by the time really the big one was birth control. Once those things happen, right, women can finally join the workplace again. Because once the Industrial Revolution happens, what happens is all work that used to be confined to your own house and to your own farm suddenly moves from the farm and the house to an actual factory where work now needs to be done. So as a result of this factory-based setting, a woman having 3 or 4, sometimes a week out of the month where, you know, she may bleed and she doesn't have any way of stopping that bleeding. She has a lot of needs that need to be taken care of, and she can't exactly do all of the work that the factory requires because it's dangerous work, means that she can't really join that factory line. And even in most industrialized nations, women still worked in the factories, especially the young ones, the single ones that have not married yet, would actually have jobs in the factories that they would portray, right? But it's only been a short period of time, and then the other technologies, the personal hygiene technologies, catches up, and suddenly now we have women getting their own back and joining society again, right? If you think about rights that people like to pretend that men had for all of human history, what rights? Like, what rights are you actively referring to? If we go back to the Middle Ages, no one had fucking rights. No one had rights. The king had all the rights, and the nobleman had all of the rights. The peasants had no rights. There was no voting system. Not men or women were voting. You were simply, by the blood of your ancestors, decided to be the most important person in the country, and everyone else simply had to be slaves to the king, men and women alike. At that time, men and women worked together. Farming was hard, so the man would do most of the plowing, the woman would do most of the feeding the animals, cleaning up, doing all that shit. The children would help on the farm because it was hard. You only really had yourself to rely on. It is simply not true that men ruled society, and here's why. Let's go back, right? So if people say that society was ultimately ruled by men, and men had this iron grip on society and kept women down in every single way, shape, and form, then we have to go and say, okay, where did that start? It has to be that at some point in the early birth of society, there was a meeting that happened where all the men and all the women came together, and they decided who's going to be in charge of society. And then the men were like, well, we're going to be in charge of society. And they were like, fuck you. You won't be in charge of society. And then the men beat the shit out of the women and just became part of society, right? We are now the rulers because we beat all these women into fucking into submission. And then all the women birthed children. Some of them were male babies, right? And then brought these male babies up to be rulers. Because the woman just, decided, well, that's how it is now. We'll just make them rulers because that's what we were told. Never mind the fact that most of the men were off most of the time hunting and warring and doing all sorts of nonsense, right, away from society. But somehow the women, who were the ones who ruled society because the men were off doing other things, they also happened to raise their boys to, control them. The logic does not logic. When you start to think about it logically and you go, oh, okay, something doesn't make sense here. Women have always been the shapers of society because they are the ones that birth the children and they're also the ones that raise the children. So if society is going to look like anything, it is most likely going to look the way that women want it to look. It's not going to look the way that men want it to look because men generally aren't present at the time that children are raised. It is also a fact that right at the beginning of the 19th century or of the 1900s, women were polled and they were asked, would you like the right to work? And only, I believe, 6% of women said yes. Would you like the right to work? Only 6% of women said yes. Would you like the right to vote? Only 3% of women said yes. 3% of all women said, yeah, we would like the right to vote. Why didn't they want the right to vote? Because the right to vote also came with the right to conscription. You had to go fight in the war if you wanted to vote. And for most women, it was like, my life's good. It's better than going to fucking war. So I don't vote, and therefore I also don't go to war. And eventually they finagled it to the point where women can vote, but they don't have to go to war. Right? It's... The logic does not logic when your starting point is that women were always oppressed by men, and that men were the ones who did the oppressing. Because you are ignoring, you're making so many fucking logical leaps in getting to your argument, and that argument just doesn't hold up to any sort of logical analysis of the facts. It's baffling to me how many people like this prove that thinking of yourself is a luxury most don't indulge into. How can you say that when you easily look at historical documents to see that women generally had less rights than men, couldn't own property, and were even traded for marriage? Dude, in what... Okay, so the documents that you're referring to, first and foremost, in what societies was that happening en masse? Right? Because the societies that we know of where the documents would exist, where women were traded for marriage, it wasn't just women who were traded for marriage. It was also the sons. Kings would oftentimes use their offspring, sons and daughters, to marry other kingdoms so that they could increase their hold over society. So there's no shot that it was just women. Children were considered a commodity that can be used in whichever way you want. Go to war, just turn off war mode. At your nearest capital, exactly, mistake. For girls too, though, because a lot of grown men today are lazy as fuck. Look, I am not in any way, shape, or form here suggesting that women had it easy in history. The problem is that people like to pretend that women had it super hard and men had it super easy. Men and women throughout history had it super fucking hard. Life sucked ass. For both sexes, equally. They both suffered in order to carve out a living for themselves. It is just not true. There is no historical evidence that suggests in any way, shape, or form that men had it better than women. The only time that actually starts to rear its head is during the Industrial Revolution, and there are very logical reasons for that. And the second the technology catches up to where those reasons are no longer logical, what happens? So here's the funny thing. If I may ask you guys the following, all right? Why do women have rights today in society? Where do those rights come from? Venderalia, prove it. And I don't mean link some article from some feminist fucking writer. I mean, go back, go look at the history, and bring the evidence of that history. Not from some feminist writer. You're gonna have to actually go back and prove that shit. Because you're making a wild claim here that from all the evidence that I've seen is not backed up in fact. Because there was an actual movement. It's called women's suffrage. Oh, so the women got their rights. Let me tell you how quickly women's rights end to exist. It ends tomorrow if the men of society decide it's done. That's how quickly women's rights disappear. It's not the suffrage movement. It's because most men throughout the history of the world has only ever wanted to do one thing, and that is make women happy. If all men today in America decided women will have no more rights, they will take their guns, they will go out into the street, and they will put all women back in the kitchen. And the women will not be able to fight back because men have a higher propensity for violence, men have a higher propensity for war. So men will absolutely take all of those rights away. The suffrage movement is not what gave them the rights. What gave them the rights is because most men want to make women happy. Point blank. And so when women said, hey, we would like to vote, men were like, all right, cool, you get to vote. When women say, we would like to work, men go, cool, you get to work. Because that is fundamentally what men are trying to do. Men are trying to bend over backwards to accommodate women because we are biologically wired to try to make women happy. This is what we're wired for. That is why when a woman cries, a man actively gets influenced by that. That is why one of the key manipulation factors that women will employ against men is crying. Why? Because as soon as a man sees a woman crying, it breaks his own spirit. He doesn't want to make her cry. He doesn't want to make her sad. He's wired that way. It's in his fucking DNA. He can't help himself. So the fact of the matter is that the only reason there are rights right now for women is because men don't want to take the rights away. Men want women to be happy. So when a woman wants something, she's going to get that something. We have how many instances of this throughout history? Where you have queens, for example, that did a whole bunch of shit before they got dethroned and killed. Because most people didn't want to stand up against her. Right? Marie Antoinette is a great example of this. I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that people in history were different to men right now. Like, why did men change so significantly in the last 1,000 years? What do you mean? Do you really believe that there's been such a major shift in men? So just 200 years ago, men were absolutely evil and hated women. But now, 200 years later, somehow men have stopped hating women, and now men want to give women rights and give women freedom and make them happy. Why do you believe that it would have changed this significantly? I don't agree. I think there's a lot of magical thinking in that argument. When you choose not to work, they absolutely would do so. I would not choose not to work. Like, hell no. Saying men ruled over women all history is false. All Germanic tribes and Celts was way more equal in rights than after the Roman conquest. There were certainly societies that had, more of a patriarchal rule. And then there were societies that had more of a matriarchal rule. But it is true, if you go read the earliest letters and observations of the Roman Empire to the Germanic tribes, they were actually surprised that the women were fighting alongside the men in the Germanic tribes. They couldn't understand it. They're like, the fuck? Why are women fighting alongside men here? Right? Because that's not how it happened in Rome. That's not how Rome did it. So, I'm going to shift into Aragorn for peak masculinity. You can do that. I'll shift to Azeroth. Yeah, you could go to Azeroth as well. See, the real problem here is that most people do not seek truth. We're not a truth-seeking people, right? We're not a truth-seeking species. What we are is a bias-affirming species. So we love to affirm our own biases. The thing that, because believe it or not, a few years ago, I was actually one of the people that said women are absolutely or have absolutely been oppressed throughout history. and you can understand why women are so angry today because they've been oppressed throughout history. And it was a conversation of logic that made me realize, fuck, all right, I don't have logical answers to any of this. Right? Because once you start asking the questions and you actually start thinking about the question, you realize, but your answers don't make sense. Simply saying it's always been that way doesn't make sense, because if it's always been that way, then it would also be the same now. It would also be the same now. Why would men give women rights now if they never gave them rights in the past? When in reality, it's gotten much easier right now, because now guns allow for things to be, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, why? None of that makes sense, because you look at what's happening today and you go, well, clearly, if men didn't like women having rights, then men wouldn't have given women rights in the past. Why would they? Right? Because evolution doesn't happen that quickly. People aren't going to change that quickly. Yeah, someone, but that always gets, somehow that always gets ignored, right? Somehow that just always disappears, right? People don't look at the fact that men were the ones who were sympathetic to the cause. Men were the ones who were sympathetic to the ideas and therefore decided that this is fine, right? But we don't look at that. We say, no, that's not true. Men were absolute tyrants back in the day, and it's only recently that men have somehow become not tyrants. But of course, the fact that we're not tyrants anymore, no one looks and says, maybe men back in the day was exactly the same as men today. Maybe they were exactly the same. Maybe the way we view women today was exactly how men viewed women in the past. You know? Maybe that isn't. Maybe it isn't the case that most men hated women and just wanted to keep them down. Because that's not what happens today. You know, that is absolutely just not what happens today. But for some reason, the people of the past were so alien to the people today that we just make up shit about the people of the past because they're alien, right? They were completely different to how we are. It's fair to live the way humans make them live. Historical revisionists. True. But it is what it is. The one thing that I've noticed, and this is something that I still need to learn and still need to get better at, but you rarely, if ever, change someone's mind in the moment. And there's a reason for it. In the moment, the ego gets very much involved, right? So as soon as you challenge someone's deeply held beliefs, the ego snaps into focus, right? And the ego goes, no, stop that. Don't, right? So they'll never really admit in the moment that they are wrong or that you may have a point. But what's important is planting the seed, right? So I'm happy to just plant that seed and then let that fester. The person that is open to critical thinking, the person that is open to logical inquiry, is now going to go away from this going, right, I need to find whatever Accolon was referring to here. I need to see. I need to challenge this belief that I have, and I need to openly search for answers. So I don't need to go with bias. I'm not going to type into Google, how was women oppressed in the ancient times. I'm going to go look at all of the evidence. I'm going to go watch people that say women were absolutely not oppressed. I'm going to go watch people that say women were oppressed. And I'm going to balance the facts, right? And then if it turns out that you find some incredible amount of evidence on this side that shows women were actually oppressed, and you find the other side to be fully lacking with an unbiased search for the truth, then that means you do now have the truth, right? So you can go forth and prosper with your belief in the truth. But if you find that the evidence is wonky at best for this supposed belief of females being oppressed in the back ages of time, then you will eventually reach a point where you go, well, maybe I should join the camp of I don't know, right? Or maybe I should join the camp of this probably didn't happen. I feel strongly enough about my position because I've gone through that process. I was once a guy that said women were absolutely oppressed, men were treating them terribly, and therefore I understand their anger and their outrage now. And then I got challenged to the same way, and I reacted in that specific way. My ego got involved, I got very angry, I started shouting the guy down. It was a massive fucking fight. But as I walked away from that, I started to think, well, I don't actually have any evidence for believing that women have been oppressed. All I have is basically what the feminists tell me. And so I said, okay, well, let me go explore this then. Let me go see. Is there any evidence to this? Is there anything that I can actually derive from this? And once you do go look at that evidence, you realize, oh, I may actually have been wrong about this. Because some people don't have ideas, they have identity. Their ideology is their identity. You can't argue with them. They can't accept to lose, or they will be nothing. I don't think it's just some people. I think what it is it's all people, myself included, right? I'm not putting myself above everyone going like, oh, wow, I am so much more intelligent than everyone else. I am certain that there are many views that I hold that are completely wrong in the grand scheme of things. Because I'm still learning, right? I'm still figuring stuff out. There's so much in this world that we just don't know that you can't really ever reach a point where you say, I now know everything about everything, right? And there's nothing that I don't know. So, but the point is, all humans suffer from ego. Even now, if someone attacks a deeply held belief, my ego is going to get involved because your ego's job, your ego is kind of like your publicist and your lawyer. Right? If someone attacks you, your ego steps in because it doesn't want to feel lesser. It doesn't want to be made to look the fool. And so if you have major control of your own emotions, which I do not have, sadly, not yet at least, you can push that back, right? And you can actually sort of exclude that ego bit. You can recognize, oh, that's my ego, get it out of the way. But that's such a fucking hard thing to do. That is so hard. Like, even nowadays, whenever I do get into super emotional arguments, it is so difficult for me to notice. Like, usually afterwards, I will realize, oh, shit, that was my ego arguing there. And then I'll go and I'll apologize to whoever I was in that argument with because, you know, I recognize that my ego got involved there. But ego it stands directly in the face of you growing as a person pretty much always. And unless you recognize that, it becomes very difficult to grow. I would love to see you in Jordan Peterson podcast. Strauss, to be fair, I don't know if I'll do Jordan Peterson podcast. I don't have a problem with Jordan Peterson. I like a lot of the things he says. There's some of the things he says that I don't quite agree with. But my main issue with Jordan Peterson is whenever he does have a podcast, he, in my view, maybe I'm wrong, but he speaks over his guests to the point where 70% of his podcast is him talking and not actually the person that he's in a conversation with. Right, so if you look at Joe Rogan, the reason I love Joe Rogan's podcasts is he literally allows the person to just speak, right? But he will interject if it's like 100% this person is saying something that Joe doesn't agree with. But for the most part, Joe will ask a question and then he'll just let the person say shit. Where Jordan doesn't do that. He starts the podcast with like a 10-minute intro. And then he'll ask the person a question. Then he'll qualify the question for like 10 minutes, right? So laying out all of the parameters for all of the question. And then the person starts to answer the question. And within 2 sentences, he goes, no, but wait. I think you're misunderstanding it. And it's like, bro, can you just let him finish? Like, let him speak. And if he's done speaking, then go. You have a book in front of you. You're clearly writing shit down. So just sit there and write down write the points down. And then after the person has made their case, then go point for point and sort of discuss each of the points. But don't continuously interrupt, because so it kind of happened with the Destiny debate, right? So when Destiny and Peterson was talking to each other, very often Jordan would ask a question of Destiny. Destiny would start to answer the question. Then he would interrupt Destiny, and they would end up never even actually talking about the original question, because they would completely go in a different direction. So the original question, the one that I actually wanted an answer to, was never discussed, because now we're discussing 5 million leagues to the other side. So I get annoyed, honestly, watching Jordan Peterson, and it's nothing to do with his intellect, nothing to do with his teachings. I read his book. I thought it was really good. It's just, as he's not, in my opinion, a great conversationalist. He strikes me more as a great teacher. Like, Jordan Peterson is a teacher. And in order to do podcasting, you have to be a great conversationalist. So you have to be able to let other people speak. And if they're talking shit, give them the rope so that they can hang themselves. Whereas Jordan strikes me more as the kind of guy that he wants to teach, right? He wants to impart knowledge, which is perfectly fine. If you have the knowledge, impart it. But then that's not very conducive to an actual podcast. Because if I'm watching a Jordan Peterson video, then I'm watching because I want to hear Jordan Peterson's opinion on something. But if I'm watching a podcast with someone, then I'm usually watching the podcast because I want to hear that person's opinion. I don't necessarily want to hear Jordan's opinion. I know what Jordan's opinion is. I'm watching because I want to hear the other person speak. The commies took his license. Oh, yeah, he lost his license. That's true. I see there's a whole anti-vaxxing or vaccination conversation happening in chat. I don't know how the fuck we got to vaccinations off the back of a conversation about historical rights and Jordan Peterson, but you two live your best life, I guess. Where did I go back into? What do you mean for the Roinkies? Let's talk about something else. No idea how we got here either. Twitch chat, pretty much. Twitch chat is wild. At no point were we talking about fucking vaccines. But anyways, here we are. Continued wokification of Warhammer 40k. Sad. Wokification. Avedon, how you doing, bro? I came back and it's going about vaccinations. Nah, it's just Holy and Z Vengeance having a conversation about vaccinations. The People's Republic of Canada doesn't like people saying words they disagree with. I'm gonna don't involve me in this, Holy. You and Z Vengeance take care of your own fucking bullshit. I have no opinions on this. Yeah, I don't know. Canada seems like a hot mess at the minute, man. I don't know. I do not like their prime. I'm gonna be honest. I do not like Canada's prime minister. I have never liked that dude. Like, from the very first moment I saw him, I just had a really shitty feeling about the guy. Monguku, how you doing? How was your brisket barbecue? I haven't done the brisket barbecue yet, Winderalia. I want to do the brisket barbecue. I don't have a smoker. And I need to buy a smoker. The problem is just, if I wanted like a Weber, like an egg type of thing, that's easy to get. It's everywhere. But getting an offset smoker is fucking hard. Especially, so there are electrical offset smokers right now that I've seen quite a lot of. But like finding an actual like wood smoker, that shit's super hard. Although I did find I found a place that sells drum smokers. So I might actually pick up one of those. Because that's at this point the closest. I'm just not sure because someone said the way you cook in a drum smoker is different. So I'm not entirely sure. Zazel, how you doing, bro? You have a Pit Boss pellet smoker? Well, okay, so here's why I don't want to get a pellet smoker. Because everyone I've heard talk about smoking says that the smoke you get on a pellet smoker is not as much as the smoke you get on a normal wood fire smoker. So I want to try with the wood fire smoker first because I want to figure out the I want to figure out the ins and outs of it. Boyfriend's parents for Mother's Day? Nice. Just build the fire on one side and put the food on the other side. I might try that. Well, Azazel, the people that say this are people like the Bearded Butchers, people like Guga Foods even. So these are people that I would consider to be highly knowledgeable. They love the pallet smokers, right? And they think they're very convenient, but you do sacrifice smoke for convenience, right? It's not as if it's a massive amount of smoke, but the amount of smoke that you can get from an offset smoker is, according to them, always going to be better than the smoke that you're going to get from a pallet smoker. Yeah, but see, this is what I want to learn. I want to learn how do you make the perfect smoked meat. Yeah, I feel like that would be an interesting skill to learn how to do. So Great Oak, the night before, I built 2 spots for heat, one for the wood and one for the rest of the food. I smoke briskets, ribs, etc. And with a brisket 12 hours on low temp, my meat has the same smoke ring an offset has. Azazel, I'm going to have to try it for myself. I will eventually get a pallet smoker as well. But like I said, I want to try with the wood smoker first. Because I want to see, like, I want to learn that skill. I like cooking. So that's a skill in cooking that I have yet to figure out. Next day, I'll make sure.
Hey everyone, just thought I'd do a video today about a bit of fire management when you're using an offset smoker. I get asked quite a few questions every week about it. So today I'll take you through my method. And, we'll do some beef short ribs while we're at it as well. But what I like to start with is just a good hot charcoal base, whether that's lump charcoal or briquettes. You want to get them burning hot, then we'll dump them in the firebox, and then we'll start adding some split.
Wait, he's using charcoal? Oh man.
Wood. Today we're going to be using some iron bark from Natural Smoke. You just want to build a nice clean charcoal base and get that burning really clean, and then you can add your meat in and we'll get going. So I'll show you along the way and we'll get into it. So we've just got some beef short ribs from our local Drakes. We've just trimmed any silver skin off the top and taken the bottom membrane off. Beautiful quality there, as you can see, nice marbling. Then we're just going to give them a nice coat in the Heavenly Hell pistol powder, and we'll get them in the offset once it's ready. Alright, so you can light your charcoal any way you want. I've just done it on the side burner of my gas barbecue. You can use fire lighters, whatever you want to do, but I've got about a 3/4 chimney worth there. So once they're all nice and red hot, we'll dump them in the bottom, and then we can start adding some splits.
Why not just use wood? Why use charcoal and wood? Why not just wood?
Another thing I'll do to show you is we'll go by gauge temperature there, and then I've also set up the probe in there so we can see what the temperatures are doing at the grate level through our Inkbird there. So we'll come back when we're ready to dump them in.
Charcoal is cheaper than wood. Not in South Africa, it's not. Like, wood is a fuck ton cheaper than charcoal. I'll tell you that much.
Right, so that's burning nice and hot. So what I've done in preparation is I've opened up my smokestack, and then I've cranked my side fire door as well. So we'll dump these in. Put that down there.
I wanna barbecue now, actually.
We can add a couple of our nice ironbark splits. And we'll start building that nice, clean burning coal base. So we'll come back in about 15-20 minutes and see how it's going. So guys, another tip that I always use is you want to rest your next split that you're going to be putting in on top of the firebox. You want to preheat that log so it catches fire almost instantly, if not very, very quickly. You don't want to be putting a cold log onto a hot fire, otherwise it's going to smolder it, give you dirty smoke, and then it's going to affect the flavour of your barbecue. You don't want that foul taste in your barbecue.
Gives rich smoky and keep high heat for searing.
Well. Alright, so our temperatures are starting to stabilise. Got a bit of a difference between our gauge and our probe temperature.
Think about global warming. I go, suck my dick. I want to barbecue meat.
Got some nice clean smoke coming through. You're always going to get a difference in the gauge temperature to the grill temperature, just because they're in two different positions. The gauge is up higher and heat rises, so you're always going to get a higher reading from your gauge temperature. Getting a nice clean burning fire in there now. Got rid of all that dirty smoke from the cold logs. So we're going to add our meat in and get going. Alright, so our meat is on.
Wouldn't the dirty smoke actually just come from, like, if the wood had bark and shit on it? I don't know, but would the temperature of that wood on top of the firebox be high enough to the point where it will make any real significant difference? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know enough about this, but I feel like fuck me. The difference in the wood there, and the difference between difference in temperature between the wood at the bottom of this fire, of this grill, and the one on top of the firebox is gonna be infinitesimally small. Because basically, the wood will probably get a little bit warm on the outside, but wood is a terrible conductor of heat. So it will probably in the middle, like the thick middle bit, will still be exactly the fucking same temperature than it is the ones just lying there underneath the grill.
We dropped a bit of temperature when we opened the lid to get it on. Some nice clear smoke coming through there. Like I said, you don't want that thick white smoke. You want nice thin blue smoke or clear smoke like that. So our temperature's coming back up nicely now. Going to aim to smoke them at about the 275 to 300 mark. If we see the temperatures climbing over 300, we'll shut our side firebox door, then we'll keep an eye on it. If it's still climbing, we'll slowly shut down our vents a little bit until it stabilises. You don't want to panic and just shut everything down. Otherwise you'll get that thick, white, dirty smoke. That'll put a bad taste in whatever you're smoking. And after about the 2-hour mark, we'll spritz every time the ribs look a little bit dry on top. And we'll try and time it so we put a split in every time we need a spritz. Because you don't want to be opening these doors too often.
Yeah, me too. I want barbecue. Fuck me.
Temperature spikes whenever you put a fresh log on. That's pretty normal. Yeah, temperature comes down pretty quick, so don't panic with that.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll come back in an hour or two when we're ready to either put a fresh split on or we're ready to spritz. All right, so our temperature
Wait.
started dropping
Did I miss him putting the fucking meat on the barbecue?
a bit. It's been about an hour and a half. I'm assuming it's because our logs are starting to burn out, which they are. And so they're pretty much turning to ash. So we can put a fresh log in.
Uh-huh.
That should start catching fire pretty quick. Get another log ready.
Here's how I know that wood's temperature didn't do fuck all. He picked up that piece of wood with his bare hands. The same as the other one. So this means that this little piece of wood that's been on top of the firebox because you want to get the temperature of the wood up so that it catches fire almost instantly, even though if the wood is dry enough, it is going to catch fire almost fucking instantly as soon as it hits the heat from the fire that is already pre-existing. The temperature of that wood is mildly higher than the one that's on the bottom. This is just one of those things where this is one of those things where he thought about it and he probably did it at one point in time and it somehow made his barbecue better. And he didn't actually keep a log of everything that he did in that barbecue. So what ended up happening was he just now believes that this is the thing that made the difference. This is why he has to do this. I do not for a second think that made any fucking difference. To not the way that he described it. Maybe the wood on top serves a different purpose, which may be. But I don't think it increases the heat of the log significantly enough to make any difference.
See a few flames starting to come about, so that's caught fire. Close the lid again.
I mean, that's a different story, right? If he said, I put the meat on top of here to get rid of any of the dew or any of the moisture buildup on the log from the night before, that's a different story. Now that I don't have a problem with. But that's not what he told us. He said, you always put a log on top of the firebox because you want the temperature of the log to come up so that it burns faster. So that it doesn't burn with dirty smoke. That's why you do that. And to that I say, sir, I don't think that wood is a good enough conductor of heat that it will make any fucking difference to the temperature of the overall wood. It's basically going to be the first maybe half a centimeter of that wood that's going to be any hotter than the wood that is on the bottom.
Another log on top, ready to go. And we'll just keep an eye on the smokestack. Make sure that smoke stays
the drying thing I have no problem with. If that is why he did it, drying it makes absolute sense. Right? It will get rid of any outside layer of moisture that may have developed. It won't get rid of any of the inside moisture. So if your wood is actually wet, that's just the fucking recipe for disaster. But if it's only the outside that you're trying to get rid of, then that I think is like perfectly fine.
And we'll adjust our vents and close the door accordingly if temperature starts getting too hot. Alright, so it's been another hour and a bit. We were sitting steady at about 300. Now I've noticed the temperature's starting to drop quite a bit. So I'm assuming that the splits are starting to burn out in there. So we'll add them 2 logs in a sec. We'll have a look at the ribs. They're looking really nice. Give them a spritz.
Not gonna lie, but that is some sad fucking short rib. Hey, that doesn't look like it's got a lot of meat on it. Like, short rib has to have a shit ton of meat and a shit ton of fat. It feels like this is that short rib where they took, because on normal short rib, you have a bit of fat, then you have a meat section, then you have more fat, then you have another meat section. Right? And you usually want to barbecue the whole thing because the fat in the middle is what renders down and then just gets into the meat and it makes it fucking juicy as shit. Whereas this seems like the kind where they took the top meat part and the middle fat part, and they just cut that off. And now you just have the meat part that's on the bone, which is going to be dry as fuck by the time you get to eating it.
And then,
because especially with a long cook like this, now it could be that this guy just doesn't like a lot of fat, which is perfectly fine. Some people are freaked out by the texture of fat, but the problem that you have, barbecue isn't good for lean cuts of meat, because barbecue will almost always dry meat out if there is no fat to render. That's why when it comes to barbecue, you want to increase the amount of fat on the meat to at least 80-20 so that you don't dry out the meat. What this guy is doing, that shit's going to be dry as all fuck. He's going to need so much barbecue sauce to go with this meat.
See how quickly that temperature drops when you open the lid. And we'll have a look and see if I'm right in the firebox.
Jerky, true.
Yeah, they're pretty well just burnt almost down to ash. So we'll add a couple of logs. They should catch fire pretty quick.
He's making a new wallet.
Starting to catch fire now. There's a few flames starting to appear on that big one. So we'll close that. And yeah, we'll just leave it and see how it goes. But that's pretty much the process. It's just keeping an eye on temperatures, adjusting vents whenever you need to, and making sure you're not getting any dirty smoke. So, like I said, if it's burning too hot, you can slowly shut down vents.
Someone, this is exactly one of those things. I have never smoked meat, but I can use logic and my knowledge of what I do know of barbecue to sort of think through just some of the actions that this guy is taking. Right? So this guy may have a YouTube channel and he may have made a video, but I do not trust that meat I mean, it's still going to be smoked meat, right? And it's going to be good. The problem is also with such a thin layer of meat. So what I have found, for example, on normal barbecue, if you barbecue too thinly sliced meat, that's actually not very good. The smoke becomes overwhelming. So the smoke doesn't actually, because too much smoke can actually be not that nice. It can actually not have that fun of a taste. What you want is the perfect ratio of a beautiful smoke ring, but then a lot of just gorgeous meat on the inside. So the smoke ring just provides a smoky flavor to the meat. If it's just fucking smoke all the way through, that can be overpowering. So you don't taste the meat, you just taste smoke.
Or if the logs
no one likes a thin layer of meat through.
Open up your doors, crack your firebox door a little bit, and yeah, it's pretty well just a.
What the hell is Pescovica?
They're a bit of work, the old offsets, as opposed to the Kamados, but they produce some good barbecue. So we'll probably leave it at that and come back a bit.
I do want to see.
Done. I like to leave my ribs and.
I personally think that tray that he put at the bottom there that catches the fat was completely useless. There's no fat on that meat.
They hit about 200 internal, and then I like to check them with the instant read, and then we'll probe them until they probe like butter. And then we'll wrap them, rest them for about an hour, and then we'll slice and serve. All right, so our temps have been hovering around the 270 to 300 mark. I checked for tenderness at 195 and I wasn't quite happy, so we've just hit 200, so I'll check again. If I'm happy, we'll wrap them in foil and rest them in the esky for an hour or two before we slice and serve. So
an hour resting this amount of meat, this needs maybe like 20 minutes, bro. It does not need an hour. I think resting time is like half an hour per is it per pound or an hour per pound or some shit like that? So resting time is very much tied to the weight of the meat. The more the more meat it is, the more it needs to rest because obviously it's more meat. This shit is like 5 minutes. It's good. You can eat.
They are looking bloody good.
It does look soft.
Much better. No resistance with that.
Looks very tender.
Thermometer.
It's got a nice bark on it. It's not bad.
We'll get them out, give them a rest, and come back when they're ready to slice. Right, we are ready to slice. I've been resting for about an hour.
Okay, let's see. Maybe we're all wrong about this and it looks brilliant.
So let's see how they go.
Dude, that is the driest cut. There's not a little, there's no juice. There is no fucking juice, bro.
Check that out.
I'm taking, that is the driest piece of fucking meat I have ever, there's no juice. Look at these, look at the cutting board. It's cleaner than it was before he put the meat on that.
Wow-wee.
This is rough, man.
Incredible.
I can make short rib in the oven. And when I take it out and I start cutting it, it is just juices fucking everywhere. And that is including with resting time. Your short rib is an incredibly fatty cut of meat.
Check out both sides of that one. See how juicy and everything they are inside there?
Alright, see how juicy it is, bro.
Time to try a bit. Wow. Seriously. Amazing.
You pressed it and nothing came out, fam.
If it Drake's short ribs, like 14
There's all that in water to eat it.
Quality. Unbelievable. Wow. That's so good. That Heavenly Hell pistol powder. It's absolutely unreal. Oh, they are just super tender.
Yeah, okay, so you can tell from the tear, right, that shit is dry as fucking hell. Right? The tear shows it. If there was juice inside that meat, tearing it would have, it would drip down, because you are now, the juice, the fat, would sit in between the muscle fibers. So if you're pulling it apart, that fat would obviously drain out. Look how clean his hands are. Like that, it should not be that clean if you're touching juicy fucking short rib. Crazy man, look at the juice, man. Sahara Desert. But he was smoking it, thought you're supposed to dry it. Like, what the fuck? Smoking is not to dry? What are you talking about? Why is there never a plot twist where the YouTuber would be like, oh, damn, that turned out so bad? Dude, I always get triggered by that. Because sometimes you can see someone made something that isn't going to taste that good. And then they don't admit it. They don't go, oh man, this did not go the way we wanted it to. That means drier than my girlfriend when I talk about Warhammer.
Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue.
I like this guy.
Today I'm doing...
I love this guy. This is a man that you can tell knows his barbecue. Listen to that accent.
Fall off the bone ribs, y'all. Coming from a comp background, I don't normally...
You know that someone knows how to barbecue when they say y'all. As soon as you hear the words y'all, you know, yeah, this man knows what the fuck he's on. Like, he knows. This man knows. He's been cooking since he was a toddler.
Cook fall off the bone ribs. That'll guaranteed to get me last place in the contest. But everybody asks for them that way. That's the way restaurants sell them. So today, I'm going to show you how I do fall off the bone ribs. let's get to cooking. All right, y'all, for these fall off the bone ribs today, I'm using St. Louis cut spare ribs. You could use loin backs, baby backs, whatever you want to use. I just like the meatiness of that spare rib. Y'all can see these are some nice big ribs, pretty straight bones. That'd be good for some competition cooking, but we're gonna make them fall off the bone today. I do have 3 racks, so I'm probably gonna cook one the way I like to do it for a comp to give them a little comparison. So I'm just keeping it simple on the seasoning on these fall off the bone ribs. You could use whatever seasoning you like. First thing I got's that salt, pepper, garlic. Y'all know it, that AP seasoning. I'm just putting a good coat on the back of these ribs. No binder.
No, Flintherankies, this is just one part. So if this is beef ribs, I'm not entirely sure if it's beef or pork, but it's definitely not. It's not the whole cow.
Gonna let the meats make it stick. Now I'm coming back with some of the barbecue rub. Use whatever kind of rub you want, man. This is your ribs. This is my.
I want to see this now.
Just AP and barbecue rub. Doesn't get any more easier than that. All right, we're ready to flip these ribs and work on the meat.
Let's go, bro.
Do the same thing. We're hit them with that.
They are pork. You can see the color. Sorry, I did not pay attention at the start.
We're gonna come back and hit it with that barbecue rub. Even coat all the way down. I'm just kind of patting the edges, making sure we got some seasoning all the way around these ribs. You can already tell that rub's starting to work into the meat. Starting to get that pretty red color going on. The seasons are kind of melting, the sugars, the herbs, the spices, all that goodness is gonna adhere right to the surface of that rib. Today, I'm firing up my Patio Outlaw stick burner. I'm gonna start with a good bed of Royal Oak lump coals.
Dude, I love this accent. I know Americans tend to make fun of this because this is considered to be the South, right? But I love this accent. I don't know why. I just really like this accent.
Those coals get going and burn down some, we're going to start adding splits of hickory wood to give us that smoke flavor, give us those good BTUs. Now I want to run the pit at 275 today. That's going to render that fat in these ribs, and that's what's going to help us get them tender. It's time to get these ribs on the pit. Y'all can tell how they're already starting to sweat. You can see the seasoning starting to blend into them. That's what you want. Now we're just going to get them right on the grate. I like to put them going crossways.
The accent to me screams good-natured, you know, just a good-natured, ordinary American living his ordinary life, just wanting to go to the game on a Sunday, you know, have some beers with his buddies. He's not interested in world domination or doing anything. Like, he doesn't want to get busy with that shit. He's just living his best life, you know. That's what the accent does for me.
Like this, because that's the way the smoke kind of flows through the pit.
Just good old-fashioned salt of the earth, people.
And space them out a little bit just so air can flow. All right, so the ribs are on the Outlaw. It's time to add a stick of hickory wood to the fire. We're gonna let these dudes smoke till they get a pretty color. So we're about an hour and 45 minutes in. I just want to take a peek at these ribs and see what my color's looking like. You can see we're still running 275. I've been holding the pit right there. And we're starting to get some good color on these ribs. They're not quite where I want them. You can still see some moisture on top. When I touch them, there's a little season that does want to come off, but it's starting to adhere pretty good. So we're looking good at this point. They're starting to get that color I want, but we want to let them go a little bit farther in the smoke before we wrap them up and we start making them get ready to jump off them bones. All right, y'all, it's been about 2 hours and 45 minutes. I eyeballed these ribs, and that's as dark as I want them to get. But look at that color we got going. The rub's cooking.
This man knows. Doesn't need a thermometer. He doesn't need to feel the meat. He sees the color. He goes, this is it. This is what my daddy taught me. I remember when I was 1 year old, my daddy took me to a cookout, and this is what the ribs looked like. And I had the best time of my life. Let's go, bro.
That mahogany look.
I like this.
That's where you want your ribs when you get ready to get them tender. Starting to get some of that fat to render down now, but we're really fixing to get them fall off the bone once we put them in the wrap. So in my wrap, I like that.
I want these fucking ribs, dude.
You gotta have some richness.
I want these ribs now. Like, that's what I want right now is these ribs.
So we're getting that for some butter. So all I did was take a stick of butter and cut it in half. We're gonna lay that right on bottom. Then we need that sweet element to go with the ribs. So I've got some honey. You could use agave nectar, pretty much brown sugar, anything you like to get that sweet element. And then some acidity. Instead of just using like a straight juice or vinegar or something like that, I'm using my vinegar sauce because it has some heat and it's going to give us a little bit of spice element to go with it. These three things are going to produce a liquid inside this wrap, and it's going to help break these ribs down, get them tender, add some richness.
That looks good, though.
We're going to flip the ribs over And this is where I look at the back side of them. If there's anything I want to pull off that's kind of cooked out, I go ahead and grab it off the end of the bones. Also hit them with just a little bit of rub on that back side just to reinforce those barbecue flavors that we're getting from the spices. And then I'm gonna put just a little bit of vinegar on the back side too. Now we just wanna wrap them up. It's really
I love how Americans say just a little bit, and then it's like half the fucking bottle. Truly, everything has to be bigger. Just a little bit, half the bottle. To me, a little bit is like a couple of fucking dabs and then just rub it in so that you cover the whole thing. Not Americans. Just a little bit, half a bottle. Let's go.
real easy. Just bring the foil up, over, and tuck them in real nice on the edge. All right, y'all, this is where we're gonna get these ribs tender. They're going back on the pit. We're keeping it at 275, but we're gonna break these ribs down now. So we're just gonna set them right back on the pit, kind of the same location. We wanna get the heat to them. We wanna get that fat rendering. We wanna get those bones letting go. It's gonna take a little while. We're gonna be patient with them.
Only you are correct. The dude said just a little bit, and he put literally the maximum amount that you could actually put on the ribs.
Check on them and see how we're progressing. These ribs have been wrapped for about an hour and a half. I want to get one slab off and check them. You know, when I'm cooking a contest rib or a rib that I want to be more integrity to it, stay on the bone, this is about where I pull them off. So I'm thinking this rack's going to be done. All right, y'all, it's been a total of 2 hours in the wrap. Now that slab of ribs that we had resting, I went ahead and bolted it up, got it back on here with a little glaze on.
That's how you know it's good. When the meat pulls away from the bone like that, that's how you know this shit is gonna slap.
But now we got to check these ribs. These are going to be our fall off the bones. And when you pick them up and they're starting to bend like that, that's my first indicator that we got some well done ribs. You got to get them over to the board. And I am going to put them back on and glaze them just a little bit too. So let me show you how we do that over here on the cutting board. So this is the first rack of the fall off the bone ribs. Went the whole 2 hours in the smoke. When you pick it up, that dude's trying to break on me right there.
Oh, yeah.
It really needs to cool off just a little bit. But to stop it from cooking, I'm going to get it out of all this hot goodness we got it in. That's what's been breaking it down. You run a risk of it falling apart on you at this stage, but I'm going to try to carefully flip it out and put it over here on a flat rack. You know, you talk about sticking a knife in hot butter. This ain't softer than that. And I do want to get a little more flavor on these. You could eat them.
How do you know ribs are cooked to perfection? If without holding the meat, you can grab the bone and the bone comes clean out. If the bone doesn't come clean out, you did not cook your ribs correctly.
Just like this, they would be fine, but I like them, you know, put a little rub on them, set that a little bit. Give us some more flavor on the outside. This just cleans up any imperfections on them that wrap might have washed off. These held up really good in there. So I'm just gonna put these ribs on the sheet pan so I don't have to move them. I don't wanna break them. Set that pan and all right back in the middle.
With a little bit of flavor. Dude. Okay, so Holy, when Americans say little bit, they don't mean little bit. There is no, I don't think the word little in America means the same as it does in the rest of the world. This dude added what I would consider to be way too much fucking spice right at the start of this. Yeah, for me personally, that is too much spice. Then he hit it with spice again while he was cooking, and then he hit it with more spice right at the end. So, I think when Americans say little, little just means a fuck ton to the rest of the world.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab this rack. This glazed up, looking like some candy apple ribs, that mahogany color, got that glisten going. You know,
that looks good.
Right. Just close it down, let that dry rub set a little bit on our fall off the bone ribs. All right, it's been about 5 minutes for this dry rub to settle these ribs. Just pull these out a little bit. You can see how it kind of changes the color of them. Gets that mahogany look back after they come out of that wrap. And all I do is
more sauce.
On a little of your favorite barbecue sauce. Y'all know I got the barbecue sauce. If you got a favorite one, by all means, go for it.
More sauce, holy shit.
On the edges, on the ends. We'll make sure we get our bone. Haven't added any more wood. We're just letting the smoker temper down, so it's not hitting it hard, but you can see them hot coals off in there. So let that sauce sit.
So at what point do you just taste the sauce and you taste no ribs, really?
It's gonna take about 5-10 minutes. Be ready to eat a rib bone or two. All right, y'all. That sauce looks like it's set to me after about 5 minutes. It just tacks up. That's all you want it to do. But Them ribs are fixing to pop out. I can tell by the way they're bending. I ain't gonna have to cut much on them. All right, y'all, so just looking at these ribs, you can't even tell which ones are the fall off the bone or which one's the control. This one was that first rack. It's not fall off the bone. It's tender. I guarantee you. We're gonna cut into it in a minute. But I can pick this rack up, jiggle it around, do all kinds of stuff with it. The bones are staying in. I can't do that to these, y'all. I gotta be more careful with them. I don't even need a knife for it. All you do is take them and break them. You see how easy that rib broke?
Fuck, look at that.
About fall off the bone,
Oh, there you go.
The meat just comes right off. That's way too tender for a competition to win a trophy.
That is what it needs to be, bro. Look at that.
Oh yeah, it's like rib meat butter. I mean, just look at that. See the smoke ring. That one fell out.
That looks good,
All
bro.
of them will fall out. Look at this. If you don't like to eat ribs like that, something's wrong with you. Because I know when I serve these to my friends and family, that's how they want them. This is melting your mouth texture. Hey, if you want to cook them fall out the bone, just cook them a little bit longer in the wrap. It took an extra 30 minutes to get them up there like 210, 212, and that's right where you want them. So cook them the way you like, but to make them fall out the bone, just keep cooking them.
I love how he literally ate all of the ribs. Like, you can tell it was really good. Look at all those bones on the side. Like, this man had the entire rack. And I applaud you for that, good sir.
Hey, appreciate y'all hanging out with us here at How to Barbecue Right. If y'all like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even Twitter. And Shell and I are going to talk about these fall off the bone ribs on our weekly podcast. Y'all give that a listen too. We'll see you next time.
Now, you know this guy knows how to barbecue, man. Like, he knows. This dude knows. He knows things. My opinion, it has too much spices and sauce. Well, I think that is just the American thing, right? The Americans love the sauces. Whereas I'm with you. I like to have enough spice on there that it celebrates the meat, but not so much that it just completely overpowers the meat. To the point where you're not even tasting the fucking meat. You just taste the shit ton of spices. But I'm guessing in America, people like having the spices be the thing that's celebrated, and the meat is just a vehicle for that. Southern is very spicy. Would you prefer British, having no spice or flavor at all? Mika, so it is my understanding that is actually a lie. Like, British food gets a bad rap, but it's not actually as tasteless as people like to pretend it is. And I have to admit, when I was in the UK, I thought the food was fucking fire. Like, they had a shit ton of good food there. I'm talking proper British food. Like, in South Africa, we love a good fish and chip shop, right? Fish and chips is a big thing here. But I'll be honest, you have not lived until you've had fish and chips in the UK, man. Like, you have not lived until you've had fish and chips in the UK. Their fish and chips is beyond good. Bloxy, how you doing? Chicken tikka masala is British, one of the best dishes. Wait, is that actually... That doesn't sound very fucking British to me. I'm from the American South, and that was too much, but still looked good. I would still fucking eat it. But it was... quite... it was a tad too much. Shit, wait. Actually, chicken tikka masala was actually invented in Scotland. So, British. I did not fucking know that. But then again, it does maybe kind of make sense, considering the fact that India was part of the British Empire. So, it makes sense that those spices making their way to, and even before, just the spices making its way to the UK means that people would have experimented with it. And on that note, I'm going to head off and play some WoW. Enjoy the rest of your stream, Echo. Mrs. Fullbuster, take care of yourself. Enjoy WoW. The chicken tikka masala isn't deep fried. Dude, like I said, when I was in the UK, I had a ton of UK food, like proper UK food. And it really isn't bad food. It really isn't. But I would say what I did notice in the UK, which is very similar to South Africa, is that most of the quote unquote traditional dishes are much more family dishes. So it's stuff that you would cook for a family meal, like a Sunday roast or something to that effect. So it's for fun. It's not really takeout food. It's not really food that would be conducive to takeout. And to be quite fair, if you think about most of the takeout food that we eat today, for example, most Chinese food places, most Korean food places, burgers, shit of that nature, it was all adapted for, first and foremost, the Western palate, but then also to be takeout, right? By the West. So I would say the reason you wouldn't see a lot of like British restaurants, for example, in other places in the world is because the food isn't really conducive to that. Take out British food is fish and chips, and their fish and chips is fucking fire. Although I must say, the first time I went to a fish and chip shop in the UK, dude, I was blown away. The amount of shit that they will batter is ridiculous. So I walked into the store, and I was going there because I wanted fish and chips, and then I saw on the menu that they had battered battered sausage, battered burgers. That shit was fucking fire. Onion rings, a shit ton of other things. Battered Mars bar was on there. So I just got a shit ton of battered shit. Best meal I ever had. It was really good. Yeah, they batter everything. New England, USA has some great fish and chip spots. Trust me when I tell you, it's nothing. So there's two pieces of knowledge that I can impart onto anyone that wants to go to the UK and have a great time. Number one is absolutely hit up their fish and chip shops. You will not be disappointed. But then, and this is the most important thing I can ever tell you, when you go to a kebab shop, if it doesn't look as if you might get food poisoning inside this kebab shop, it is not worth going in. You specifically want the kebab shop where you look at it and you go, there's a significant risk that this could kill me. That's the one that you want. Because you know that is the one that has all of the flavor and also by far the best food. It shouldn't look well put together. That shit doesn't work. If you like chowder, they have great one in the UK. I don't even know what the fuck chowder is. I feel like maybe that's true for great food everywhere. You need to go to places that looks questionable. Because those are the ones where you get the best flavor on the food. I have work to do. I hope you all have a great day. Next, you take care of yourself. Have fun with work. I'm biased, but full English breakfast is the best. There's two things in a full English breakfast that can fuck right off. The eggs and the baked beans. They bribed the health inspector. You're in good hands. True. But I thought I was Akko's wife. You're my work wife, Holly. What we call greasy spoons, Akko? Pretty much. Pretty much. I hope you have black pudding on there at least. Bro, I would never eat black pudding. Ever. For me, it's the beans. Eggs can stay. Well, yeah, I hate eggs. I can't stand the taste of them. The only time eggs are good is when you have so much ketchup on them that you can't taste the eggs. Ketchup and mustard. You just fucking pour that shit on to the point where all you taste is the ketchup and the mustard. Then it's alright. The eggs just serve as a vehicle for the ketchup and the mustard. But eggs on its own, I can't eat eggs. What I will eat is the yolk. Like, if you just gave me the yolk, I'd have that. I like the yolk. I hate the white bit. I love a full English, but black pudding is egg. Ploxy, absolutely in agreement with you there. Black pudding is just a little disgusting. It just... There's something wrong with that. What about fried egg sandwich? What is a fried egg sandwich, Kigler? Fried bread can get fucked. Bro, what's wrong with you? Fried bread is good. The white bit tastes like nothing, though. It's the texture of the white bit that puts me off. Don't ask me why. I can't explain it, but the texture of the white bit just... I can't do it. I don't like French toast. I've had moments where I have a craving for French toast, but I have a very specific way of making French toast. So what I do is I dunk the bread in the milk and the egg and everything, right? Or the egg and the milk mixture. And then I fry the one side of it. And as I flip it, I put cheese on top, right? And then honey. And then I take another piece of French toast that's already been fried on the one side, put it on top of the cheese and the honey, and then I fry it all as one sandwich, so the cheese melts and the honey sort of gets into the bread, and then you just keep flipping it to not burn it or overcook it as the heat melts the cheese. Take that off, pour some honey on it, and then that's fine. But again, I can maybe have like one of those, and then I'm like, the egg taste is a bit overpowering now. Use milk in French toast. I use custard if I'm adding anything else to the eggs. Custard? Fuck making custard. No. Just a little bit of milk. Not like a fucking... Not like... You're not matching the volume of egg to milk. But a little bit of milk just goes a long way. Bread and eggs fried. Drops for here. How you doing, bro? I don't like... So, if fried egg toast or some shit, if that is eggs on bread, I also don't like that. So you get, Americans call it an egg salad sandwich, where it has like pieces of egg that's been mixed with mayo or some shit, and they put that on a sandwich. No. I like the sauce. They could lose the fucking eggs. Unless you get it from farm, you got to season that stuff. People who've never been outside of the US won't understand. I guess I can see that. What am I looking at here, Avedon? Are you just showing me a picture of French toast? Wait, but eggy bread is just French toast, no? How the fuck is it different? This looks exactly like French toast, though. What makes it different? French toast is sweet. French toast doesn't have to be sweet. Like, French toast doesn't have to be sweet. I know plenty of people that have French toast with bacon, with all sorts of shit. Yeah, but French toast also doesn't have to have sugar and cinnamon on it. You could. You don't have to. I've never. It is. We just don't like French things in the UK, so we call it eggy bread. Ah, so it's one of those fuck the French moments here. I can get behind that. FXK, how you doing, bro? Cinnamon, really? Why do people put cinnamon on everything? Is it like British women and mayonnaise? Wait, so British women love mayonnaise? I didn't know that. Is that true? You should watch this. Do you see the crimes committed by the British in terms of food? The crimes. Holy fuck. That's a strong word.
So my dad is from England, and so I was raised on some classic English food. My dad was raised in post-World War II Britain, a time period of economic decline, bread rationing, and the worst culinary atrocities known to man. Many that still continue to this day. For number one, we have beans on toast. Imagine this.
I have to admit, beans on toast is disgusting. Like, the fact that British people think that that's a good meal is beyond me. I will put mayo on or with pretty much anything. All right, so Bloxy absolutely confirming the stereotype there.
This. You wake up on a Saturday when you're a little kid. You're pumped to watch some cartoons and maybe eat some pancakes. Oh yeah, I'm about to put whipped cream and chocolate sauce on. See, back in my dad's time, all they really had was bread and canned food. That was it, and there's not much you can do with that. So most of the meals people ate during that time involved bread, beans, tomatoes, and other food you can stuff in a can. And when you have a whole generation of poor fucks raised on this shit, they go and teach it to their own kids. And then their kids teach it to their kids. And then you end up with a whole subculture of British Instagram where people are
That just looks sad, man. That just looks so sad. Beans on toast. Oh, what a sad fucking state of affairs when you think that's a good meal.
posting breakfast pics of fucking beans on toast. And next we have banana buddies, another abomination involving bread. This time it's with sliced bananas between two slices of bread. It's literally...
I think that could be good, though. This is where I would say, wait. Banana? Toast? Yeah, that could be good.
just a banana sandwich. That's it. For number 3, we got
That sounds good to me.
Now I swear...
I'll tell you guys something that I love doing. I don't know if anyone else in the world does this. I don't even know if this is a South African thing. But you know what is really fucking good? Cucumbers, sliced, on bread, fresh bread, with butter, salt, pepper, maybe a bit of cheese if you're feeling spicy. That makes a phenomenal fucking sandwich.
By Bacon Buddies. You got bacon, you got toast. Combine the two, Bacon Buddy. This...
What's wrong with this? Again, so far, the British is 2 out of 3, in my opinion. 2 out of 3 years sounds good.
legendary meal is always there for me after a night out drinking. And next we got cheese toasty. And yes, this again is just a cheese sandwich. But when
Nothing
your
wrong
country
with
was
this.
bombed for 8 months straight, you gotta make cheese sandwich sound a little more positive and fun. But let me break down this naming system for these foods. Or rather, the lack of sensical naming system. So apparently it seems like buddy is just British slang for sandwich, or between two slices of bread. You know, you got the bacon buddy, the banana buddy, but then that begs the question, what the fuck is up with cheese toast?
It depends, tell us what you view as a cucumber, because you guys have some weird fucking I'm talking about the long, green, fresh cucumber. Not preserved in anything, nothing like that, just the long, green cucumber. Pretty standard sandwich in Japan. Riddle, and I love that. I love that sandwich. It is really good. So hear me out, add some hot dogs, Russian and Tabasco sauce to baked beans, put that shit on toast, it slaps. How about we take hot dogs, Russians, and Tabasco sauce, fuck away the beans, and put that shit on toast? Then you have a truly phenomenal sandwich.
Toasty! Why did they break the naming convention? Banana buddy, bacon buddy, cheese, toasty? Why not cheesy buddy? No one knows. People start drinking in England at the age of 12. Who gives a shit? No rules. And then we have black pudding. This piece of shit food is a delicacy over in England, and it's literally beef blood and fat mixed with oatmeal. They were really running out of ideas with it.
How anyone can eat that? Just look at that. Does that not look gnarly as fuck to you guys? You're eating cooked blood, effectively. How do you put that in your mouth and not instantly feel like you want to throw up?
this one. For number 6, we have spotted dick. This is what happens when your main tool for cooking is a giant cauldron. You just throw in some dough, add in some water, and fuck it, some of that leftover, dried out, rotten fruit you forgot about last week. It got its name because, well, British people think dicks are funny. Hey man, you know what would make these tasteless, flavorless, bland peas way better? If we mushed them up so they look like fucking baby vomit. Oh dude, I have an even better idea. What if we did that and then we put them on top of French fries? This is why countries raise the drinking age, so we don't have an entire generation of people who think mushy peas are an acceptable thing to dip French fries into. Like seriously.
I gotta be honest, the mushy peas thing, you also lost me there. I hate peas with everything in me. I can't stand peas. It's like, I don't mind vegetables in general. I'll eat just about any vegetable. But even artichokes is really good. I don't mind those. Brussels sprouts, love those. They're good. But peas, man, like, fuck me. I remember as a kid, my mom telling me you have to eat your peas before you can leave the table or whatever. And I'd be like, I don't want to eat this shit. Like, give me literally anything else. Give me spinach. Give me coleslaw. Give me something else. I just don't want to have the peas.
Seriously, what is this? Get this out of my sight. For number 8, we got Toad in the Hole. Now this is a perfect example of the laziness that lost Britain the great empire it used to have. You know how if you're from USA, you've probably had pigs in a blanket or some form of sausage wrapped in dough. Well, apparently they're too good for that over there. They can't be bothered to individually wrap sausages. And let me explain something. The benefit of wrapping them in...
Are you guys getting message deleted? How? It must be Twitch's shit. It must be Twitch's shit, because I don't think any of us are doing it. Although it could have been Avedon banning Z Vengeance because Z Vengeance is triggering the British in him.
Individually is the ratio of sausage to dough. If you just toss some sausages in randomly into a pan of dough, what if there's a whole section that's just dough? You don't want to take a bite of something and have it be just plain dough. Puh! Next is pot pie.
I don't know. Dough is pretty good. It's like people who don't like the crust on pizza. Like, why not? The crust is good.
Now, this is the one thing England
Apocalypse,
has
how you doing, bro?
When it comes to pot pies, England is the champ. There's really no competition.
Come here for a few days. I will treat you.
A beef pie in a random little shop
happy
on the
to.
street, and it was straight up an out-of-body experience. Well, anyways, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.
I think this guy, like, there are some questionable British foods. Not gonna lie, there's some questionable British foods. Like, I think you guys still need a couple of years to move away from the war, so that you can join the rest of the world in not putting mushy fucking peas on your fries. I don't know why you would do that. It's not necessary. You guys do realize there's other things you could put on fries, right? It's just baked instead of pan fried. You put it on fish shop chips, but why? Why would you put it on fish shop chips? I'm pretty sure there's questionable foods from most countries. Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think most countries have foods that I would never eat. But for some reason, I can't think of. Oh, I know what I would never eat in South Africa, which is quite a delicacy here, but I will never, ever, ever eat it. It's called offal, or I think you guys call it offal, which is like the innards of a cow. Like, I would never fucking eat that shit. That shit is just, it's a delicacy here. People love that shit. Never. Organ meat, I'm fine with. I can do organ meat. One of my favorite things to make is chicken livers with chicken hearts and chicken stomachs in a nice curry sauce with what we call pop. Shit is brilliant. I'm talking about the stomach lining, right? So I'm talking about, in South Africa, offal refers to the stomach lining and the intestines. I think people call it tripe as well. In our word for it is afval. Right? So afval literally means fallen off. So basically, we call it afval, and I think it comes from us hearing maybe the British say something like offal, and we thought that they were talking about the stuff that you would throw away, the stuff that wouldn't obviously be eaten, so the stuff that would fall off the butcher's table. So it was called afval, because the stuff that the butcher would just throw off the table, and that turned into, oh, actually good food apparently. I wouldn't fucking eat it though. Intestines are largely what's used in the casing for most sausages. Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. So the world, I think it's a poor people thing. Well, it's how do I explain? It's cheap here, and yet the people who would consume it are generally speaking well-off individuals. Like people who make a lot of money. So my dad, for example, is a medical doctor. He's not struggling for fucking cash, and it's his favorite thing to eat. And all of his friends as well. He would literally, my mum and my dad would literally invite their friends over for a nice night of fucking offal. And then luckily my mum, she got me. She would also have like a steak for me, so I can also eat something, because I am not touching that shit. They are well off because they eat the shit that fell off the table and it's cheap. Probably grilled innards is great drinking food. If it's cooked right, tripe stomach lining can be really good. No, just the fact that it comes from the stomach and the way it looks before you cook it freaks me out. Eat a duck that isn't quite developed and consider that a delicacy. Surströmming. Yeah, all right. I have to be honest. Wait, isn't surströmming the bad fish shit? What's the bad fish shit that the Danish or the Swedes or the Norwegians, one of those fucking Scandinavian nations? Yeah. That is another one of those where you just look at it and you go, who did this first? And then PewDiePie actually defended that shit by saying you're supposed to open it underwater so the smell doesn't hit you. And it's like, bro, if the smell of something makes you want to throw up, that's your body's way of telling you it doesn't want that crap. That shit that's there, it doesn't want that. So then, here's an idea. Don't eat it. The fact that you have to go through extra steps to prepare that just seems a little off to me. That guy holding in a bath that could not stop laughing at it. Oh, bro. There's a video that I watched. Every once in a while it pops up on Instagram. And it truly does make me beyond happy. Of two guys that's opening one of those surströmming cans. And the one guy is laughing at his friend because his friend is really scared of it, and he's sort of all macho about it. And in the end, he can't stop off. Like, he's literally dry heaving the whole time. He doesn't stop. He can't stop it. Wonder what Swedish fisherman forgot his fish in a barrel somewhere for a few months and decided to eat it anyway. Yeah, we spoke about this yesterday. The people that decide to, I mean, I think I showed you guys this before. I think I showed you guys the video before. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. I found it.
Let's just get this shit over and done with, innit? The video in. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't.
Get down, you little shit.
Yeah. Get the dog down. Yeah, Bean, grab. Come on, get down. I need to sit down. I've got fans to like talk to. Yeah. Hi guys.
Hi guys, haven't been on for a while.
If you can like and subscribe at the end of this and a thumbs up would be great.
Tell your friends.
Is it upside down? Because it's bad luck talking upside down. If I put the hold out for it.
Fuck it, it's right in my face.
Right.
Go on then.
Everybody knows what this is.
I love this.
The fish challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Can you grab us a fork and all?
A fork.
That's a fork.
I love that. Can you grab us a fork and all? As if they're actually gonna eat it. Like, so confident that this... How bad can it be?
I might have a little dabble.
Oh god.
Go on, open it.
This is gonna burst. Does this even work? Here we go. Here we go. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Opening it.
Oh. Sabrina.
You need a fork, I'll fucking eat it, man.
I love this.
My god. Go in. Let me sick.
It's not that bad. Give me a fork.
I love how this guy tries to keep his composure.
You're laughing, it's not that bad.
Sabrina.
Small up. Over here then, Annie.
Oh,
Fucking hell, that's fucking disgusting.
You can smell a bit of that.
oh man.
Mate, what's wrong with this fucking... Give me a fork then.
Oh my god.
The guy just, he can't stop. I don't understand it. Like, how is he incapable of stopping? Oh.
Oh, Paul, if you eat some of that, mate, like a fair play chef.
Fish.
Mark, what is that?
You have it.
No, get it away from me.
Oh, that's
Oh, fucking hot. Just put that in.
No, get it away from me.
James, that is fucking rancid, man. See if the dog eats it.
Get it down, you son.
Ooh. Ooh. That is fucked up.
Get it down, you. My god. My god.
I would not be able to.
Oh.
Pissy.
Mate, get it down, you then.
Come on, Paul.
Okay. Mate, get a pair of scissors and cut a little bit off.
Are you going to eat it with me?
No, I'm on.
Come on, don't be a fucking idiot.
Put that in my mouth.
Oh, that's fuck.
Paul, just open your mouth. Go on.
Mate, fair play, chef. If you do that.
Don't lick it.
I would not be able to, bro.
I'll put it in my mouth.
Yeah, go on, lad.
That all the way in.
Yeah. Come on, Paul.
Oh, I would not be able to eat this.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. My God. Fair play to you, mate. Chew it. Chew it.
Bite. Bite.
Oh.
No, no, no. They eat it in the wrong way. Like, please, sir. Educate us on how to eat this disgusting, rancid piece of shit. Like, look, at some point, you have to realize that you are going too far. And I think Surströmming is going too fucking far. Like this, without the juice on bread with potatoes and stuff. Yeah, but, dude, I would still not eat it. Even on a sandwich, the fact that it made you barf when you opened it suggests that it should not be eaten. There is some cheese that smells terrible but tastes good, so it can be tricky. No. It's fine if something tastes or smells terrible. But if you're... Listen, the gag reflex that we've developed, right, is to get poisonous shit out of us when we've accidentally consumed it. So when the smell of something makes you go... That means your brain smells that shit and it goes, nope. Nope, we're not going to do that. And for some reason, the Swedes managed to bypass the natural elements of their brain's protection, and they go, fuck, it's fine. Just eat it. Let's see how it goes. At least to me, the smell is shit, though. No. Just fucking no. There are so many other things that you can be eating. Don't butt fuck the brain. This guy is also funny, by the way.
The fermented fish challenge. Now, I know I said this about the pickle, and I came a bit of a cropper on that one. Help. But this is different. This is fish. And I like fish very much in my mouth. In my mouth. Surströmming. It's Swedish. What I don't understand is why is food from another country, which its residents eat all the time, a challenge? Is there a bloke called Eric in Sweden now currently vomiting over the Yorkshire pudding? I don't think so. It's in salted water for a couple of months, I believe, and then they stick it in a can. I've smelt some fucking things in my time. If this makes me chunder, I'll be very surprised indeed. I have heard that when you open the can, it can squirt. I do quite like a bit of squirting. Squirting. There we go.
This fucking old guy is weird.
Oh, Christ. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
You can already hear from his voice. It is not fine. Like you can hear you can see him swallowing. You can hear the voice is becoming strained. It is not fine.
Fine is that? I don't. No, I'm absolutely fine. There's no. Fucking hell, that's eggy. Fucking. Oh. Now I said, it's fine actually. Oh, it's dribbling every. Fucking hell. You're supposed to open this underwater. Fucking hell, it needs opening at the bottom of a fucking volcano. Oh, it's making me shake a little bit. It's not because I don't like it, because I do like it. When I did the pickle challenge, I drank the juice. Fucking hell, that's like octopus jizz. You dirty, dirty fishy get. It's just fish. It's just... I can't eat that. I can't... There's a fucking bone sticking out of it. Yeah, the poor sod. But it needed that when it was swimming. It's raw as fuck. I've not been beaten this time. Not a fucking chance. Cocky, no. I'm supposed to put this in my mouth now. Now, I've been told by a Swedish gentleman that you're supposed to eat these. You're supposed to wash them, rinse them out, gut them, and eat them with like potatoes and almonds. But I'm not doing it like that way. I'm eating it like a moron. Fuck it. I don't know why I'm spitting. I'm about to put the fucking thing in my mouth. Whoa. Go. Oh. There's no way I'm swallowing that. That's what Deirdre says to me. Cocky. Fuck that. Christ, I've had some rancid things in my mouth and that takes the fucking biscuit.
What the
Sorry, I did a little bit of sick. I've got the worst taste in my mouth.
Oh, this is the funniest shit ever.
Being beaten. Here we go. I'm going to swallow some. He's fucking awful. I don't know how the Swedes eat this. Getting and fucking winning Eurovision, getting an award for eating this shit. So, listen, I recommend if you're going to do so strumming, listen, good luck to you if that's your thing. It ain't my thing at all. So strumming, out of 10 gets a rating of fuck all.
You want the link? I'll send it to you. Oh man, this is the pain on this man's face as he's trying desperately to seem in control of his own emotions, of his own body. You can tell his brain just did not want that shit anywhere near him. Like, he wants to, he really wants to, but his brain's just like, fuck that, mate. We're not doing this. I actually cried. That's how much I'm laughing at this. The Mako would be a fun stream. I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. I have very particular limits to the shit that I will put in my mouth. And rotten fish is right over that limit. Unlike this old dude, I have not had some rancid shit in my mouth in the past. I draw the line at hobo dick. Which is way too funny. I was laughing like a retard. You and me both, bro. You and me both. I'm crying. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but my eyes actually have tears flowing out of them. I lost my shit when that guy came right up to the camera and he started putting the fish in his mouth. And you can see there's that glint in his eyes where he really wants to. Like, he's desperately trying. He wants to convince himself that it's fine. But his brain is just 100% going, fuck no. Fuck no. We're not doing this. Oh, this was funny as shit. You draw the line before or after Hobo Dick? Hobo Dick is on the line, bro. It's where the line starts. A comedy stream? Because he was acting like it was not a big deal. Well, I was trying super hard to act like it wasn't a big deal. What do you mean an Akko comedy stream? I thought this stream was a fucking joke. Zephian, that's literally what happened there. I don't have I do not have a very strong gag reflex, right? So it's very rare that I will smell something and be like, oh, right? I actually want to throw up. So I'm not sure if it will make me want to throw up, but it probably would. But I can tell you this. I would not want to smell that. I love me a guy with no gag reflex. Let's not make this about sex. Let's not make this about sex. I was having a perfectly normal conversation about food, not about cock, bro. I'm fairly certain that gag reflex will fucking switch on instantly in the latter's case. Best thing ever is watching a room full of people with a synthetic gag reflex. Oh, there's this guy on Instagram that does this to his wife. Because his wife has that. So he'll walk up to his wife and he'll be like, oh. And then his wife literally just automatically goes, oh. As if she wants to gag as well. That it's illegal to even open surströmming indoors. I know that there are apparently places now where that has made it illegal. Like if you live in an apartment building or something, you're not allowed to open surströmming. Because apparently the smell just goes on for days, even weeks. You can't get rid of that smell. Will you rate the 40k diorama I made? Sure, Xanarath. It's loading. You watched someone drink a pint of someone else's sick IRL before. Yeah, that would make me throw up as well. Battered Fanny, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate you. That name is fucking crazy. But I really appreciate it. Save and Raven with the 31 months part of the DJ Nation. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This shit is not loading, bro. I don't know what's going on here, but this link is not loading. Imgur is being super slow. I once, this is gonna be, so if you have a sensitive gag reflex, maybe you know, take off your headset or whatever. But I in college, we were on like a 3 or 4 day binger, right? Just drinking ourselves into another fucking area code. And this one girl tried to keep up with us. Now, this happened after she passed out about 3 or 4 times during the binge. And then woke up and immediately started going again. And eventually she got so drunk that she would sit with the beer in a cup like this on her chest, right? So she's holding the beer cup like this. And then she would throw up into the cup like, ugh. And then she would take a sip from it. It's just refilling the fucking cup the whole time. That shit was crazy. Oh man, this looks fucking insane. Well, look at this. You made this yourself. Dude, this looks sick. I want this. Oh, this looks so fucking good, man. Imgur's being a bitch. But yeah, this looks amazing. That's cool as shit. It really is. Blood Angels. Yeah, this is art. This is the kind of art that I would want in my house. Like, normally I'm not an arty person, but if my wife came to me one day and she was like, hey, I would like to put up some art, and then she showed me this, I'd be like, fuck yeah. Let's go. Let's have this as the artwork in the house. I'm about to have lunch. I could have done without the puke binge in a cup story. Venderalia, are you one of those people that feel Imgur is being a bitch? But I have the link now, so hopefully it opens later. Are you one of those people that after you've seen something disgusting, you can't eat for a while because you'll imagine the thing happening to you? Because I'm not like that at all. Like, I can literally sit and eat while watching something disgusting. And I'll just be like, doesn't matter. It's fine. If my wife came up to me and said, let's put 40k art in the house, I'd go buy 10 rings and marry her 10 times over and then build a statue of her in my garden. Holy fuck, that's a bit much. Well, I don't know if I'll go through that much effort, but I'll give her hate bats. I'll be like, there. That's good. Good wife, you. And then his 5 stories. That looks like someone's retirement just spent. Dude, it looks gorgeous. So now it'll probably take 30 minutes from now. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I thought it was funny as shit. But, you know. You build a statue of a space marine in the garden, admit it? Oh, man. I want that now. Imagine a to-scale statue of the Emperor of Mankind as the first thing people see when they get to your house. A giant golden statue of the Emperor of Mankind. See, Vengeance, is your girlfriend a gamer? Or did you make that age-old mistake of dating a girl that isn't into gaming at all? That's gonna cost you all the Twitch money? No, you don't make it gold. Fuck, in South Africa, a gold statue, that shit wouldn't last a day. You just paint it gold. She just doesn't 40k? All right. I had a girlfriend once who wasn't a gamer. The problem is all of my friends are gamers. So whenever we got together and talked about video games, she would get really annoyed because she doesn't know shit about any of the video games. And then I'd get super excited about something happening in WoW, and she would not understand at all. No, Grofal, we're not speaking of Warhammer. You want this statue in your house. Unironically would be a good statue. We'd have to start sharing. I don't know about that. As time has gone on, more and more girls are starting to join the gamer ranks. So soon, it might actually be on parity with one another.
Once upon a time, it was the 41st millennium. There was a wise old emperor of humanity. He ruled fair and just, only committing genocide when he really felt like it. Until one day, his wicked stepson cast an evil spell on him by hitting him in the head with a hammer. Now the emperor sits all day on a big golden chair until true love's first kiss can bring him back to life. But until that day comes, humanity sends its magical armies of shining friendship to spread the peace and love of mankind, no matter how many innocent people have to go to heaven to make that happen. This is the happy tale of this time, where mystical space knights make wars of kindness against magical elves. And the real genocide is the friends we make along the way.
I like that. The real genocide is the friends we make along the way. True. Once upon a time, it was the 41st millennia. What is this? There is a statue like that in Nottingham. Oh shit, Digit, thanks for the bets, man. And I want this statue. Digit, if you're linking stuff, you can't link it with bets because I can't click the fucking bet. Damien, how you doing, bro? Happy Sunday to you, sir. Oh. Oh, that is cool as shit. I want that statue. Mueller Gaming, how you doing, bro? Blood Ravens aren't real. They can't hurt you. If I'm going to put a Warhammer statue in my house, it's going to be a Sister of Battle. Dude, the Sisters of Battle are so cool. Like, every single time I read of the Sisters of Battle, they're just badass. Yeah, that looks like Sigmar. Although you never know, because there are Space Marines that use Custodes, I think, uses shields, or some of the Space Marine chapters uses shields. So that shit is cool. Always get high and say new religious. There are sometimes fanatically. Dude, I love Warhammer 40k, but they've gone super political right now. No, Xanarath, I've not been following all of the news coming out of Warhammer 40k. If anything, I'm trying to steer clear of the fucking drama. Because Well, fundamentally, I don't think it changes anything talking about it. Because I think these guys are just going to do what they do, you know? The only way to really make your voices heard, if indeed that is what you need, it is to vote with your wallet. Don't support it. Just, go on with your life. Or else, you're just going to get more of it. As I've made the point many, many times before, I don't mind. I don't mind any of the diversity stuff or any of the, like, if you want to include people in the story, but then make it make sense, right? Write a cool story around it. Write a cool reason for it to exist. Don't just add stuff because, you want to appeal to some group or another. I think that's just super disrespectful. The real god in Warhammer is not the Emperor, it's Games Workshop. Are the original creators of Games Workshop still in charge of Games Workshop, or has it changed hands since the original creation thereof? Is the price increase? Everyone else is still going on about the 4chan post and talking about Henry Cavill without Henry Cavill actually saying anything. I feel like the reason I don't believe the 4chan post is Henry Cavill has been incredibly public about, like, all of his disagreements with the Witcher people, about his disagreements with just about everything. Like, if he doesn't want to do anything anymore, he will let people know on his social media platforms. He hasn't said shit. And it's been what? It's been almost 2-3 weeks now since the 4chan post came out. So I genuinely do not think that that Henry Cavill isn't going to be part of the Warhammer show. It's publicly traded now, so it's a board of directors, but the creators are still CEOs as far as I know. That's good. It probably just depends on how much are they still involved in it. Because you had the original guys that made Twitch be the CEO of Twitch for a fucking long time, and he did absolutely nothing. He was literally no one even knew he existed, because he would never do anything. New Twitch dude seems a lot more interested in existing. Clancy. He seems to be working hard. By the way, is the Clips channel or the Clips page already active? Because I know they were talking about making a Clips page to help with discoverability or some shit. I think it's on the mobile. Has anyone tried that yet? I know not many people use the Twitch mobile app. I'm checking now. Because I have the Twitch mobile app installed, but I never fucking use it. As if nobody else can make minis or lore when there is actually a ton of competitors. Just need the engaged fans to choose another to take over. I feel like the thing that will pretty much always save something like Warhammer, because even though there are other people that produce minis and have universes, are you really going to tell me that you're just willing to give up on the Warhammer 40k lore? Because let's be very honest, Warhammer 40k lore is not fucking bad. It's really good. I'm clicking on the discovery. Your new home for recommended streams based on what you watch on Twitch. No, it's not yet active. Then when the hell is it going live? Dude, it's suggesting people to me that play chess. I've never watched a chess streamer in my life. I guess they think I'm sophisticated. I'm looking forward to that Clips channel. When that Clips channel goes live, you guys are going to have to start clipping the fuck out of this stream. What's going on? Xanarath, that's the way to do it? I'm trying to bore you off the platform? Wait, who's trying to bore who off the platform, Aragast? Your balls, we be public. Because they say it's going to work, Hammer. My response is, you're 20 years too late. Oh, year, by the way. Should you come to Berlin, need to visit this place. Oh, fuck me. Hold up. Now I have to open the Discord app. Hold up. You posted it in Warhammer, right? Oh, shit. I found out yesterday there's a place like this in South Africa as well. And I really want to fucking go there. Apparently, in Cape Town, there's 3 places that sell Magic the Gathering, Warhammer, and D&D stuff. And I really want to go there. I want to buy me some shit. There's your statue. Steal that. But this is in Germany. That would be one hell of a trick. I'm not fucking flying to Germany to steal a statue. No, I'm not finally starting an army profile. I just want... Like, I would start an army if someone else would paint the shit for me. Like, if I could pay someone to paint it for me, then yeah. I'd start an army. But I have no, like, absolute zero interest in painting minis myself. I can't be fucked with that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, on this somber note, I am going to leave you guys. I'm going to go make some food. Chill out, because, well, it's Sunday evening, and I still have to watch the games of G2 versus PSG, and also Gen G versus Top Esports. I have not watched those yet. So I'm going to go watch those now. I thank all of you for coming out, for hanging out with me, for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope it was fun. I hope I provided you with a little bit of entertainment on this Sunday, which is usually a boring day, but hopefully you enjoyed it. I will likely be back tomorrow. Same time, same place as always. I can't promise same time. I usually fucking change times depending on how I feel. But I will be live tomorrow. And tomorrow, maybe we play video games. We'll see. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for hanging out. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, be kind to each other. Be good to each other. And I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.